And you know what? I'm just going to push the record button and start this.
Let's go.
Dun 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 dun. Welcome to the next episode of Tales from the Head. This week we're going over some interesting things. Mostly, we're thinking the theme this week is omens.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what we know about omens is they could come in many forms. They could be premonitions. They could be symbols, sometimes not always interpreted. What's the word? Interpreted. It's nice when you're talking and then you just lose it all in one little mind fart.
Welcome.
Literally. There we go. That's the word I was looking for. You
Mhm.
can't always interpret things literally. There's a definition for it, but it's so wordy. And I liked it, but there was a word I had to look up. So if I'm looking up a definition and I have to look up a word in the definition, I'm probably not going to use that definition. Also, I need to brush up on my English. You got good omens. You got like 4-leaf clovers, rainbows.
Double rainbows.
But what about when you lose a shoe at an orgy? Is that a good omen or is that a bad omen?
Well, I never lost a shoe in an orgy.
Yeah.
I haven't been invited to one, unfortunately.
Well, never say never, and we were just talking about Eyes Wide Shut.
Yeah, so maybe there's always a chance. But I have lost my shoe and my wallet in punk rock concerts all the time.
Now, I don't know if that's an omen at that point. And I don't really know if the orgy shoe loss is an omen either.
But I feel like that's the rite of passage, though.
I think it's more of a rite of passage at the orgy. No, it's more of a rite of passage at the concert.
Yeah.
At the orgy, it's more or less, hopefully you're just wishing that the pain you have on your feet isn't going to spread to your crotch the next day. Topical cream can only do so much.
Yeah.
I mean,
over-the-counter stuff can only get you so far ahead.
Scabies and chlamydia, they're real, people, okay? And when they spread, it's just not going to be fun, okay? It's just not going to be fun. This is the holiday season. This is the season of giving. This is the season of taking. And this is the season of getting.
Yeah.
Getting the corona. No, and that's not funny.
No.
Yeah, but it seems like we're moving into I'm not going to go into corona. That's too easy. But what I was going to say was I actually had trouble trying, even though I like this subject, I had a lot of trouble trying to figure out personal examples for myself.
Mm-hmm.
That are literal, kind of like the examples. Because so I was brainstorming, and then I was like, okay, because I really don't want to Google things. Sometimes I want to put my own thoughts into it before I just get thrown into another thought based on Google. But then I was like, okay, I just need some help here. Like, I know what the movie is, I know what an omen means, but I need some examples so I can figure out my own examples. And that's when I found out 4-leaf clover and rainbows and elephants are a good omen, apparently. But see, this is all interpreted by culture, religion, and all these things, right? So that's why it's very subjective. Like, good omens in one culture is not good omens in another.
Yeah.
It's not very universal. Some are. But the one thing I noticed that I did have is, ever since I was a kid, my mom would always talk to me about, like, how our family has, like, this weird, like, intuition, and, like, it's never really been able to be explained to me, and she was the only one that would ever talk to me about it. Whenever I try, and even when she would tell me my grandfather, her dad, had instances where things happen. Whenever I asked him about it, even though it did happen, he'd always kind of brush it off like it was something different, which made me feel like it was even more true. Especially when you're a kid, whenever someone tells you something's not true or don't do it, you always go in the opposite direction. But there's something about being an adult, too, when you're interpreting words and someone tells you something. Sometimes they mean the opposite. It's very odd, but
yeah.
In this instance, I kind of knew him. Like, the one thing I've learned about my grandfather as I've gotten older is he's a very brave man. I'm not saying he's not, but what I'm saying is I think sometimes he does things not just to protect others, but to protect himself.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean this emotionally. Like, I think that's why people close off and shit because they don't want to be vulnerable. They don't want to deal with it, right? And it's a kind of an old school mentality. But when he acts like, "Oh yeah, nothing's wrong," I'm like, "Yeah, okay, sure, whatever." But he's kind of become that. Like he won't like be. It's like I'm not 10. You know, you can just talk to me like an adult. But you know, it's just how he is. Even with other adults, he doesn't really like break that down. Maybe it's just something that spooked him as a kid. But there's always like we've talked about ghosts before, and that's always kind of been surrounding my family. My family's very like spiritual and into like stuff like that.
Yeah.
When we're not like hippies, but we're very like I grew up into sci-fi. I grew up into weird spiritual stuff because my mom was into all that ESP stuff, and I kind of think that's what my thing is because like there's been a few times where like I felt like something was off, and I've reached out to a person, and then turned out something was off. But the one thing I've learned whenever we have feelings, like it kind of goes along the lines of a hunch, I guess, with the
Mm-hmm.
omen theme. But I've noticed that like whenever you feel something, or you ever think to yourself like, oh, how is so and so doing, or oh my god, I feel like something's wrong, or oh, I feel like this person needs something. Whenever you hear that, regardless of how dumb or silly or foolish you think it feels like, you should just go with it and reach out to that person. Because
Yeah, it's that
sometimes the
sixth
universe is
sense.
telling you this person might need your help or vice versa, you know?
Yeah, it's that sixth sense or like that that energy you're bringing
Yeah.
out. Even though I mean you just said it, I believe it also like heavy on the energy and stuff. Like sometimes you just put out that energy out there, and the
Yeah.
other person picks it up, and it just like it makes you think about that person one way or the other.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, um, that in a sense, I feel like with the word omens, like yeah, it has like that people think is more like a negative aspect or
Uh-huh.
something to do with evil, but no, some it's sometimes like some sort of charm or like might be a coincidence or something, but
Mhm.
like it is something that you look for. And for me, I pick up my omens or I pick up my signs from my dreams.
Oh,
I
okay,
feel
cool.
a lot of like this past week or two, I've been dreaming about airplanes. Like
Really?
there's an airplane in there, like being in the airport, seeing actual planes, just being there, or me passing and just seeing like planes like in the park. And then after like 4 or 5 times about like having an airplane in my dream, not flying or anything, just parked. I'm like, all right, I gotta see what the heck this means. I looked it up and it says something about like doing a transition, like moving into something, some sort of transition or something like that. And apparently, it's not a good thing seeing an airplane like an airplane flying is a good thing because that's what airplanes are meant to do.
Yeah.
So it's just like an airplane like a grounded one. That's where it's like okay, it might mean trans something about you're about to cross into another new phase in your life or a new transition or transitioning to something. So I'm like, all right.
Mhm.
So now I have to like keep so with that taking to consideration, like now I have to look up like or I have to be more aware of like, okay, where's this gonna happen and where's this gonna bring in. So it's weird for me. Like there's been a lot of dreams like that for me.
Yeah.
Um
Dreams are
but yeah, like
interesting too
yeah,
though.
dreams are just like weird though. I feel like it's like is where you reach into you it like is your self giving yourself the answers that you don't want,
Mhm.
but it has to be there, or like it's yourself telling you the truth.
Yeah. But you got to
And
figure out how to interpret that
yeah, exactly.
cuz like we said earlier even with omens, dreams are everything but literal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Mhm.
So
Which makes you
it's
feel better when you
interesting.
kill someone or something really fucked up happens and you're like, oh, good. I'm not
Oh,
Ted Bundy. That's
like
good.
okay, well at least now I
Or
know I
maybe
didn't
I
have to.
am, but at least not for this reason. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I think the last time like I had a dream that really spoke to me. I'm like, all right, it was like time to let go. I was dreaming. Um, somebody came up in my dreams, and I remember like I was walking to my car. I see this person, and I'm like, oh, you were here. Like, should have told me you were here. We could have like walked to the car together or something. And I remember this person telling me like, all right, hey, no, well, I didn't tell you, but I just want to let you know it's time for me. It's time for you to let me go. And that's like what this person said. Like, all right. And it was so cliche. Like we
Yeah.
kind of like went our own separate ways. And then like I remember like waking up and thinking about that, and I'm like, all right, it's time. Like my that cycle of my life is over. Like I have to
Mhm.
move onto like that person needs to it's gonna get cut off from my life or whatever.
Yeah.
And yeah, like it sucks, but at the same time, you're like, no, that's what was bothering me. This is what came to me in my dream, and maybe it is. You know, at the same time, just like we send out those vibes of thinking about somebody or dreaming about somebody.
Hmm.
Maybe that person was also sending out the vibes, also like,
Yeah.
hey, like,
Man, that's a very, very cool way to, yeah, because I
mm-hmm,
mean, that's super powerful. Like, the power of thought.
yeah,
That's some Twilight Zone shit right there.
it
Some
really is.
telekinesis.
Yeah, it really is. And if it was done by, communicating by dreams or something, like how do I know this person's sending out that
Dude,
vibe
you
and
know
not
what's cool?
like conflicting vibes or something?
Like everything you're talking about is I don't know if you saw the film, but I don't really read, obviously, but I do the audiobooks, and
Mm-hmm.
last year I was doing Doctor Sleep, which is the sequel to The Shining.
Oh, okay. I haven't seen it or read it.
If you're gonna watch the movie, do the director's cut because it's closer to the story.
Okay.
He could add in what he wanted to, and that's the one I watched, and I actually liked it.
Mm-hmm.
But without giving anything away, basically the premise of the movie is about a group of people. This is taking place after the first story, which was when he was a child. This story is focusing on 40-year-old recovering addict, alcoholic Danny, which is the boy,
Yeah.
um, which is such a fucking dope premise. As soon as I read that they're making a sequel to The Shining and that they literally it's gonna be him as an adult, I was just like, this is the fucking best fucking idea. Like that is
Yeah.
like a fanboy's dream.
Yeah.
So anyway, like, cause even when I was a kid, I was obsessed with The Shining. Like I grew up with the movie, and I learned more about the Stephen King story more than the Kubrick film. And even though I like
Mm-hmm.
both differently, I like literally they're almost like separate, but um the cool thing about the movie, the new movie that the guy did, was he paid homage to both.
Mm-hmm.
Because just like me and like a lot of people, even if you love Stephen King, because Stephen King hated the Kubrick version of the film,
Yeah.
um, a lot of people are still like, yeah, but see, this wasn't our baby, so we can see it as something separate. But see, if
Mm-hmm.
that was my work of art and like someone changed it, yeah, I don't know how I'd feel about it either. But I like both. Anyway, it's interesting because there's a group of people that are called the fuck. I mean, it doesn't matter what they're called. It just slipped my mind, but basically they're like super powerful versions of like what Danny was, and they implement thoughts into people's brains.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's fucking creepy. Like through your dreams, but they can fucking kill you in your dreams type shit.
Mm-hmm.
Like not Freddy Krueger, not like it's similar to the point where it's just super weird and it's super cool story. But anyway, like as soon as you're saying all that about dreams and people being controlled through them, it's like, dude, there's a lot of sci-fi along those realms. It's very interesting.
Yeah. No, and I feel like, indigenous groups always interpret dreams differently. Like they
Yeah.
feel like it. And in a way, like people who do psychedelics,
Yeah.
like in a way that's
Like
what,
mushrooms or
yeah, or
ayahuasca
acid or
or
LSD or
acid.
whatever.
Yeah.
Same thing. I think they're tapping in there
Yeah.
um to
Yeah, it's
your
it's bringing
subconscious mind.
exactly. I think what it's doing is like it's opening up the file cabinet, you know?
Yeah. And just like get ready for it.
Exactly.
And it's funny that you said that Stephen King didn't like the original Shining because they remade it, or they didn't remake it, but they did like a TV series in the early 90s.
They did, and I've seen it, so I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah. And I didn't know about this until I went down to Denver about a month ago, or last
Uh-huh.
month, and I went to the Stanley Hotel
Dude,
where yeah, I went to the Stanley
you
Hotel
went to
where they
fucking Estes Park.
yeah,
That's so
yeah.
cool. I still haven't been there.
No, really.
Hold on, I
Yeah,
got
I
something
remember
awesome.
what you got.
So sorry for the rude interruption.
No, you're
It's
good.
just I had something really cool. My mom got me this when she lived in Colorado.
Oh, that's dope. Room
Yeah,
217.
you can.
Let me see if I
It's a
have the
Stanley
picture.
Hotel. Yeah, and see the cool thing about this is because she knows I'm like a fanboy too. This is
Mm-hmm.
room 217.
Yeah.
This is the room number from the book, not the film.
Yeah.
The film is 237.
Yeah.
So even more cool.
And
Well, he
and
wrote the book in that hotel. That's the
yeah, that's
fucking
what
crazy thing.
inspired him. I'm trying to see if I have a picture. I'm trying
Yeah,
to
it
see.
looks nothing like the film hotel, which I believe that hotel was in Portland.
Yeah, it was. The movie, the book was based on the Stanley.
Yeah, it was.
Um, but yeah, like you said, they used another. Here you go.
Yeah,
Here's
the
a little picture of
well, I
me.
think the inside was like a
See it?
set, and then the out. Yeah, yeah, it's so nice and
There it
dude,
is.
they used that in the miniseries.
Yeah, that's the other thing. They use it in the miniseries, and they have all the props and stuff downstairs, like in the basement.
Oh, oh, cool.
Yeah, they have it. And
Because I
another
still
thing I
haven't
know,
been there.
the other thing I didn't know is they also filmed Dumb and Dumber there in that hotel.
That's where they had the convention for the owls, huh?
Yeah, they the
Holy
convention of the owls,
shit!
and also when they come in with like the Ferrari, and they're like
And
all
then they got the
like
orange and blue, yeah, tuxedos.
jumpsuit, and they're like, "Here you go." Like that was
Yeah,
film
yeah,
also. That was also the
dude.
Stanley. Um,
Most of that movie was filmed in Colorado, huh?
yeah, and Aspen,
Aspen, that's
but
right. Yeah.
allegedly.
Well, allegedly,
Um,
who knows if it was really Aspen?
yeah, that's they say
Fucking
it was probably
some shithole town in like central California,
I was gonna say it was probably somewhere in Canada. Everything
or
seems
that.
to be filmed in Canada now. Um, but yeah, it was like I remember we were looking things up to do in Denver, and then like we saw like, oh, Estes Park only an
Mhm.
hour away, and I'm like, well, I'm going to Estes Park, and
Yeah.
then they're like the Stanley Hotel where the Shiny inspired for Shiny. I'm like,
You
oh, I'm going.
so when you drove to Estes Park, you drove through the mountains for probably over an hour, right? About an hour and a half,
Right.
maybe from Denver,
Yeah.
almost
Yeah.
two
Yeah.
hours. So you had to drive through past where my mom lived. My
Boulder Creek,
mom,
right?
no, she was living. Most recently, she was living at what's it called? It's like Buffalo something, or it's some random small town. But she used to live in Nederland, and I think you pass through Nederland when you go
Uh huh.
to Estes
Probably,
Park.
probably, because I
It's dude, it's a
remember.
pass through town, but there's like nothing, and then you'll see like a tiny town. That's like Nederland.
Yeah,
Because what was it, Blackhawk?
because I remember leaving Denver, and then we went into Boulder Creek,
Yeah, and Boulder's
and
like right before the mountains.
yeah, and then we went up in the mountain, and then for some reason, like the freeway ends, and we had to make like a left, and then we passed through a small town.
Uh-huh.
Um, and then yeah, it was like we're in the mountains up there for a while, and then next you know it, we're at Estes Park, and then at the end of that day, we went to the Rocky Mountains because the Rocky Mountain National Park is right there.
Yeah.
So we're like, well, shit, we have to check it out. When I can say, and the whole time I kept on saying, "Oh, that John Denver's full of
Yeah,
shit,
full of
man."
shit. These aren't that rocky.
so so we went to the park, and rather than exiting the same way we came back or we entered, it took us through like a back road, and then from there, like we were up in the mountains for like a while, and we did like a bunch of small little towns, and of course it's all like in the middle. It wasn't in the middle of the night, but it was already like kind of dark. It was like 8
Yeah.
9. So I'm not even sure what cities we passed by or what small towns we passed by, but we
Oh
passed
yeah,
by a
when
lot
it's
of
that
towns.
late, it's so dark. I mean, you can't see anything barely.
Yeah. But I remember I just remember like getting my rental, and whoever used the rental before us had excellent taste of music because they had the 80s new wave radio, XM
Oh
radio
yeah,
on.
yeah, yeah.
So I remember like turning it on, and it was like, you're too shy, hush. And I'm like,
Oh yeah.
oh, all
Shine,
right, I'm gonna keep
shine.
this. Yeah.
Well, la, la,
Mm,
la.
I'm gonna keep this. And then next like the whole weekend I'm just listening to the XM radio on that radio
I
station.
love 80s music.
Yeah, it was fun.
So
Good times.
melancholy. It's either melancholy or super upbeat.
Yeah.
It's
And
like perfect.
I remember listening to it. I'm like, oh, dude, excellent choice. Whoever drove this car before me, like, excellent choice.
Yeah, it's always
Um,
cool.
but yeah, that was a cool trip, man. That was a cool trip to Denver slash Estes Park, and I want to go back again. I feel
That's so
probably
cool. I
next
want to
year.
go. You know what would be cool? Like we could do some kind of like trip. That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah,
Cuz I've never been there. And
yeah,
like I
yeah.
want to go with the family, but I really want to go there I can't go there with my kids. They're too young. They're not going to enjoy it and it's going to fucking
Yeah,
kill it for me.
yeah,
They'll be like I want to leave or I want to I'm like no, I want to fucking enjoy this. So
yeah.
like it's clearly got to be something I either do just with me and Steph or just on my own
Mm-hmm.
with some friends. So I got to think about that.
Yeah, it wasn't bad. Like I remember.
Dude, you know what'd be cool though? We should do like a fucking night tour.
Well,
Don't they do
I
flashlight tours there?
I know they do. No, I think from what I was reading at the website is they do like tours throughout the day, but at night, like up to certain hours, because like it's still a functioning hotel, and the
Right,
hotel is really not that big. Like it's only like 2 or 3 stories.
right.
So like the lobby section is open for everybody.
Uh huh.
The grounds is open for everybody. But you cannot go to like past the lobby. There's like some stairs, and then they tell you like, oh, you can't go beyond this floor.
Right.
Like it's only for guests. Which people are still out there trying to take pictures of the room, like 217 or 237
Yeah.
or whatever. Um, but it was yeah, it was a cool. I mean, the town's super small.
Oh
The
yeah, yeah.
town's super small. The hotel, I mean, we couldn't do any tours. I'm not sure if there was just sold
You
out
know
for
what
the day
though?
already, or
COVID too. You know,
yeah.
a lot of
But
museums and stuff aren't doing stuff like that right now.
yeah, so they were like, but inside we were there with like our mask and stuff. But it was cool, dude. It was a cool unexpected um like trip.
Yeah.
And when we got there, they have this thing where you can like literally go for a walk um on the it's like a river, kind of like what we have in downtown San Jose,
Right.
the
Oh, like a
Guadalupe
river
Park.
walk.
Yeah, exactly. With a bunch of stores and stuff. And we went there right when the seasons were kind of changing.
Oh,
Like,
nice.
so like a lot of stores were having like 50% off like on
Mm-hmm.
everything, because essentially, like, yeah, we're closing up because once the snow gets in, like, no
Oh
one's
yeah, no
fucking
one can
walking.
drive around anywhere. Yeah.
Yeah, and they have to change from like, they just close down the shop for the season or something.
Yeah.
So we're like, all right, so
Well,
we
they
got
get
like
heavy snow up there. Yeah.
yeah, so like I'm pretty sure we went right on the perfect time
Hmm.
because when we went, it wasn't that cold. It was like 60 degrees, 70 degrees
Oh
during the
yeah,
day.
that's perfect.
And then at night it'll drop down to like maybe 40 or 50.
Yeah.
So it was like very like Bay Area type of weather. And then I know like within a week or two when we left, it started snowing all crazy and all. I'm like, yeah. I'm like, thank God, because I know I've been driving like shit if I was driving out there in the snow.
Yeah. It's different.
But it was cool, dude. Like originally I wasn't sure if I wanted to go. Um I wanted to do something. I had a 4-day weekend coming up from work. So I wanted to do something because, just to go and
Right.
just go
You got to get
somewhere.
out and do something.
Yeah, and I was like originally I was gonna go by myself. And then I told my cousin about it, and she's like, "Well," she's like, "Why Denver?" I'm like, "I don't know. I'm pretty sure there's like a cool hike out there, cool views." I'm like, "Whatever. Like, just go check it out, the city. Go once, and then never go again." And then she's like, "Well, I'll go." I'm like, "All right, well, let's go." Tickets were super cheap. I think I got like a round trip for like $180 or
Oh,
something.
that's fucking nice. Yeah. I mean, it's
Yeah,
not that far. I think it's only what, an hour and 20-minute flight if you go
yeah. It
direct.
wasn't. It wasn't so bad. It was like 2 hours
Did you
tops.
stop? You stopped in Salt Lake, huh?
No, no, direct flight.
Oh, direct.
Yeah, it
Did
was
you have to
awesome.
stop on the way back?
No, it
You get
was
direct
direct.
on both ways?
Yeah,
Dang,
dude.
dude, for
Oh yeah.
180? That is
Yeah,
cheap.
dude. It was freaking cheap, dude. And like the only thing that kind of sucked was like everybody and their mama went to Denver that weekend.
Oh yeah.
Because it was like the change of the times or whatever.
Yeah.
And so like getting like the car rental, like that shit took like an hour and a half
Oh
just to get a
yeah. You're
rental.
probably just waiting in line for most of it.
Oh yeah, dude, it was. And then like I'm like, I'm not gonna get ripped off. I'm just gonna get the cheapest car,
Yeah.
whatever. And the guy's like, all right, dude, I can upgrade you to. I'm like, nah, dude, nah. I'm like, I'm okay. He's like, well, I can get you a Ford Explorer for $30 more per day. Be 4x4. So if you're gonna go up there in the mountains, like it'll be. I'm like, fine, just give me the fucking Ford Explorer, or give me. I'm fine, and it was a fucking great upgrade.
Oh dude, it's worth it. You
It was
probably.
worth it. It was like super luxurious, super like nice.
Well, dude,
Juan
and
drives
yeah,
one also,
driving through
so
the fucking mountains too. You definitely. I mean, the weather you were dealing with,
yeah.
you would have been fine. But driving back in the night at night, you were. I'm sure you're in a better position than you would have been in like a sedan
Yeah,
because
even
it's
if I
just
would have
so
gone with like
dark, dude.
yeah, and even like with a 4 door, like if it was a V, of
Oh
B4
yeah, like a
going
four
up those
banger.
fucking
Yeah.
hills and shit, it was just gonna kill my gas and shit. So
Well,
this was a
usually,
V6. Yeah,
yeah. I mean, usually you just kind of fill it up to the way you left it.
yeah, which it was full, it was all the way, but gas was so much cheaper over there. Um,
Yeah.
and then, but it was cool. I want to go back. I feel like I didn't do it justice. I didn't do enough of it, but I did go. We the city of Estes Park does have like a very nice like river walk, so we walked for like a while, and there's like fucking elk just walking around.
Oh yeah, dude. That's straight up the wilderness out there.
Yeah, which is like it was a trip for a while. I'm like,
You'll
fuck,
see
that's like,
bears and shit too.
yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm pretty. And I was like, I was tripping balls, but no one seemed to care. But
Oh yeah,
I,
they're just used to it.
yeah, they're like, God damn it,
It's like
more
seeing
fucking,
raccoons in Oakland. You're just like, yep, they dig through garbage, and out there they're
or
like, look
like,
at the elk.
or I guess for us, like watching the fucking deer over here in East San Jose.
Yeah, just eat people's trash.
Yeah, and you're like, get the fuck out of the way, deer. Fuck,
I'd fucking, dude. You know what? I am not a deer advocate.
I'm, I'm not. I guess I've seen them so many times where I'm just like, oh yeah, that's a fucking deer.
I
But
mean,
I
I'm
want to
not
see
gonna
like,
say I hate them. I just don't think I'd start a group for them.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Yeah.
I'd eat
Yeah.
them. I haven't actually. I still haven't tried venison or elk.
Mm-hmm. I haven't
I want
either.
to try it. I don't want a whole elk. I mean, you got to kill them first, right? But then
Yeah.
I just don't want to do it because that's too much animal, and I don't know enough people that would even want it, and I don't
Mm-hmm.
have a freezer big enough for it anymore. So
No. No, that's definitely something you'll go down to a local shop and just get yourself like
yeah,
a
just
little
get a steak or
steak or
yeah,
burgers or whatever. You grill it.
elk burgers.
Yeah, you look up on YouTube how to fucking grill them because I'm pretty sure that meat's super lean and you don't
Oh,
want to
dude,
burn
yeah,
it.
you probably gotta like. I mean, you definitely got to put some spit on it.
Yeah,
That's just plain and
at the
simple.
very least.
I mean,
Um,
that's just common decency.
but it was cool, man. Well, did that, and the next day we went to
Red Rocks?
Aurora, huh?
Did you? Oh, you went to Aurora?
Yeah. Was
Nice.
it Aurora or was it? I don't know. It was like
Did you go to Golden?
south. No, I don't think I did.
Oh, Golden's cool. There's not a
Uh
lot there, but there's the
huh.
Coors place is there.
That's something I wanted to see. I want to see
Okay, well
the
when we go, because we should make a
Blue
plan of it,
Golden.
we'll do a Tales from the Head trip, and we'll
Mm-hmm.
go to Golden
Uh
because
huh.
I've been there, and we'll go to Estes Park because I haven't been there, and those are
Okay.
two places we both haven't been, and then there's some cool spots that I kind of know of, like
I remember.
up by Fort Collins, there's this giant reservoir.
Oh, really?
Oh, dude, and it's like I think it's like maybe an hour north, or is it west? Geographically, direction wise, I'm so fucked with Colorado. But
I remember I went an hour south, and we went to this place called like the Garden of the Gods or
okay, I
something.
think south is where the mountains are, right?
Okay.
Because I
No,
think
the
Denver and
mountains
up is like the plains.
are west. The mountains are out west.
Southwest, though, right?
Yeah. Because
Yeah.
that's something my cousin was tripping balls on. Like
Yeah,
we
you're
would
right.
ride.
Because east is just flat, and it
Yeah,
goes into like
because
Iowa and shit.
exactly. We fucking landed in Denver, and my cousin was like, "Why is this place so fucking flat?" I'm like, "Oh, I forget." I'm like, "Dude, like that's just the
Yeah,
Midwest
it's
for
the
you, or
plains.
the
It's the
Great
beginning of the
Plains."
Great Plains.
Yeah, it was fucking flat, and she's like, "I can't believe how fucking flat this place is." I'm like, "You should see Texas."
Dude, well, isn't it funny? Okay, so when you're in Denver, doesn't it look like kind of like Modesto?
It does.
Yeah.
It does.
Like Steph was
Uh,
saying that too, because she used to travel a lot, like 10 years ago, back with her job. And she
yeah.
was like telling her family, and sometimes her family would be like, nah. But she'd be like, you know what's crazy about America? About 80% of it, besides unique landmarks, look exactly the same.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
if you're driving through suburbs of like Illinois and shit, she was even telling me this because she would have to drive like 40 miles between cities to go to certain stuff with in a
Mm-hmm.
rental. Dude, in Illinois, it's just flat as fuck. It's just like if you're ever driving through Fresno or Bakersfield, or it's
Mm-hmm.
like obviously it's a farm town, but besides that, it's just you look around, it's like, yeah, it's just
It's flat.
flat.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, what I mean, yeah, you kind of see the foothills, but like, yeah, if you ever go to like Modesto's a good example because you don't really see a lot of hills.
Mm-hmm.
But like it's like, yeah, it's just like funny. It's like kind of barren. And it's
Yeah.
not, but it's kinda. And then it's, you know, you think Colorado, you think like green, lush. Basically when I think Colorado, I think Boulder.
Yeah.
Because Denver just looks like every other fucking town. And it's like it seems like a lot of like industry and
Yeah. Very working,
yeah, definitely a working
class.
class.
Mm-hmm.
Especially with the downtown vibe. Did you kind of drive around downtown a little bit and see
Yeah,
like
we
the
went a
baseball
little bit.
stadium?
We went to, yeah, most definitely. I had to take a picture outside the baseball stadium,
It's a
but
nice
we
looking
also
stadium, all that
it
brick.
is course field, and then
Yeah.
we passed by the where the Mavericks is, the Mavericks, no, the Nuggets.
Nuggets, yeah, yeah,
Where
yeah.
Nugget, yeah. I'm like, what the fuck is that? I'm like, oh, it's arena. Oh, I should take a picture of myself out here. But like, yeah, we went to like the Grand Central Station place,
Nice.
um, and like just general downtown, and it was like, it wasn't.
It's
It felt
clean.
empty.
Yeah.
Yeah, felt very
It's a pretty
empty.
clean downtown though, huh?
Yeah, it is
Like
super
compared to
clean.
like San Ho and shit, you're just like, I
Yeah,
mean,
San Ho
obviously
and San
San Ho's way
Francisco.
more people, but
Yeah,
you're just like, God, it's so clean.
and then we stayed in this area away from downtown. It was like maybe 10 minutes away from downtown.
Mhm.
But we passed by like the bougie area of Denver. I think it was called like Cherry Creek or something, or
Colorado Springs is hella fancy.
Color. Oh,
And
that's where we went.
yeah, and it looks
That's
like San
where.
Ramon and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
hills,
we.
nice big houses.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Yeah. Definitely went to Colorado Springs, and that's where we went to. That's where we saw that Garden of the Gods thing. It's just
Oh,
like,
okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I remember thinking like, dude, I'm pretty sure this is where Disney got the idea of Radiator Springs
Oh,
with
yeah.
like, because like this Garden of the Gods, like the rocks were red and all this shit and looked really, really nice. And
Yeah.
yeah, it was cool, man. I really liked it. And that was like something I always forget. This is something about California, and I'm not sure if it's a good thing or a bad thing, but we're so used to just paying taxes that we just don't like we don't bat an eye whenever like we pay for something and it comes out to like double what we were expecting because
Yeah.
of taxes. And we were in Colorado. I remember like the within the hour we got there, my cousin and I we fucking picked out some burger spot and like
Hmm.
appetizers and all this shit. And it came out to like we were impressed that it came out to like under $50.
Yeah.
And we're like, the fuck? I'm like, is it so cheap? I'm like, oh, because there's no taxes, or like the taxes are super low or something. So
But
like
it's
that saved us like an extra $10-15.
yeah, and do you know what's funny? Denver's actually on the climb to be
Mm-hmm.
like similar to the Bay. I mean, obviously
Yeah.
not at that level, but there's a lot of tech startups out there. So there
Mm-hmm.
is a lot of people moving there for work. There's
Yeah.
also a lot of people moving there because it's more. It's actually not as inexpensive anymore. Like about
Mm-hmm.
10 years ago, it was a good place to move to, and I think it's literally like the scary thing is that I don't think it's much cheaper at all anymore to live
Yeah.
there than to live here.
Yeah.
Um, Denver and Boulder are not cheap places to live.
Yeah. I was
Um,
looking at some of their houses and it's just like, yeah,
oh, dude,
they're
it's
they're
pretty much
hella
the same as
expensive.
it is out here, and it's like, I mean, it's not a bad investment, because I mean, if you have a job, but like,
Mm-hmm.
um, like you said, I think property tax is less, so that's gonna be huge when you pay for your house, and
Yeah.
I mean, what's interesting about Cali that we learned about, I heard about it, but then me and Steph looked it up, and California charges you a fucking exit tax for like 10 years
To like exit
after
the
you
state.
leave.
Uh-huh.
You pay something for like 10 years.
Really? For
Like,
moving out?
how is that legit? Like, I get the point, which is basically like you're not giving us money anymore
Mm-hmm.
because we're not taxing you. But it's like, you're almost fucking forcing me to live here.
Yeah.
And then you're
And if
like, oh, you can't leave. And it's like, dude, why wouldn't you want me to leave? There's too many fucking people out here.
yeah, lower the goddamn property.
Yeah, so then that's the thing that's fucked up. So then, wait, so you're trying to tell me just this is the logic, and this is why I'm going to be a great angry old man. But like, this logic is like, I can't afford to live here. I need to move. The state's like, cool. So we know you're poor. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna break you a deal. It's usually 20 years, but we're
Mm-hmm.
only gonna charge you this exit tax for 10. Like, you are such a piece of shit. Like,
Yeah.
taxation. Like, I hate to sound like those fucking like crazy fucking people, but taxation really is fucking theft, bro. Like,
Yeah.
I acknowledge that there's a point. I don't want to say all taxation is theft, but like, I don't mind paying taxes for things that we need, things that we
Yeah.
need for upkeep. But it's gotten to the point, man, where on a state and federal level, we're just getting it. We're just getting fucked. Like, it's so fucking sickening. I see how much they tax even just my industry that I work in. It's like, how are we borrowing money from China? Like, how is that even possible?
Yeah.
Like, how?
Well,
The state of
I
California
think
alone probably makes enough fucking money with tourism and revenue.
no, of
It's
course.
just
I mean,
insane that we're
and that's
fucking broke all
and,
the time.
and that's the one thing. Like, I don't think California is broke.
Oh
That's the
no,
whole thing of
yeah, it's
like
not. It's
the
just mismanaged.
yeah, and that's the thing with like because I'm pretty sure California has like a surplus. of like, in case of emergencies and shit like that. And I think it's funny every time, like the past couple of years, like whenever Trump will get mad at California, like we're not gonna give you any taxes, and California's like, fine with us, and we're like, shit, we're gonna get taxed more.
Yep.
But like you don't realize how much taxes you pay here in California until you leave California, and
Yeah.
then you're like, what the fuck? And then like, but at the same time, you don't realize how shitty everything else is outside of California until you leave California. Because
Yeah.
I know,
Aspects
like,
of it. Yeah.
yeah, because I know, like, the first thing I know is like roads. And like when I was down in Texas, like in San Antonio and El Paso and stuff, like the roads were so shitty. They're so confusing. Like everything was just like so different. And like, yeah, it's cheaper, but like there's these roads has freaking huge just potholes on it, or
Yeah. But
like
dude, go drive down in East Oakland. I mean, I can get a flat in 2 hours driving through East Oakland.
yeah, that's true.
That's a
That's true. That's
suburban
good.
city.
Or Stockton.
Yeah, but I'm just saying,
That's
I'm making
true.
a point that this is like
Yeah,
a
I think
built
you didn't
up
realize how
city
much.
that still
Yeah.
has a terrible fucking. And that's the other thing. Like, our roads are constantly just total shit and always being worked
Yeah.
on, but never done.
Yeah.
And I mean, I get it. I understand it. It's let's stretch this contract as long as we possibly can and make the most money. But for the taxpayer and the person who wants to drive on the road like me and you, it's like,
Yeah.
this
That's
fucking sucks that you guys take
capitalism.
10 years to fucking do something, and then once it's done, you basically got to start over because it's been 10 fucking years. It's like, I don't know. It's
Yeah.
like an endless cycle of them never
No,
fixing the freeway.
no, and it's true. I mean, it is like I get it. It's a business.
Yeah.
It's a contract and stuff. But at the end of the day, I'm like, dude, you're just fucking over the taxpayer.
Oh, totally.
And that's what sucks about it. But I mean, at the same time, I'm all about fixing the infrastructure and like
You
fixing
know,
the
it's, yeah. And, and as much as I complain, I think I need to start sticking to my guns. It's like if I want to complain that they're not fixing the roads, I'm gonna stop using them. I'm just gonna build a plane and I'm gonna start shitting out of it, and that's just what's gonna happen. I'm gonna have to take matters into my own hands. I'm gonna
yeah.
go chitty chitty bang bang. I don't know what's going on, but yeah, like it sucks, man. Because you're right, though. Like I get it. Like I'm bitching, and to a point, it's like this is America. Like where we
Hmm.
complain and we have so much,
Yeah.
but it's like, but at the end of the day, you got a bitch. So, people in Taiwan are complaining about something right now too. It just might be a little
Yeah.
different. Might not be the roads. Might be something probably worse, but it's something to complain about.
You're never gonna be happy.
No, and you're never
No,
going to be
but
happy,
like
and no system is perfect, right?
that's true. I was seeing some video on YouTube about a month ago about how the city in Norway built a bridge like in 2 nights, or like in one
Oh,
night.
because they all worked together and did it.
Yeah, like because it's like the government's like, nah, motherfuckers, this is the budget. This is what you're gonna get.
Oh,
This is
so they
it
took it
because
into their own hands to get it
yeah,
done.
because they're the socialist democratic or whatever,
Yeah,
and they built this freaking bridge overnight, and I'm like, we can't even add an extra like light pole around
yeah,
the corner from my house,
but
and that shit will take like a month.
right. But here's the other logic to take into consideration. That's Norway.
Yeah,
If a group of people from, let's just use Oakland again. Why not? I'm gonna shit on it. I work there.
yeah.
Yeah. Would you want to go on that bridge that was built in 2 days from Oaklandians? My answer is no.
No.
I'd be like, that's when I understand why it's tax money.
Yeah.
Because filling potholes, independently, I heard about people doing that. That's one thing, and I think that's really cool. But when it comes to like architecture, you got to leave that to the professionals. And some of those
Yeah,
people in Norway, I don't know shit about the story. They probably were, and everything was legit. But
yeah,
that's when I want the checks and balances on that part. When I'm
yeah.
like, I want 3 people to inspect this
Please.
differently, and not just be like, Jim said it was good, so just walk on it. It's fine.
No, just open it up.
That lady
So
that fell, she had a hip problem. That was pre-existing, so don't worry about it.
yeah, no, I'll look up the video because I'm like, this shit was done like in one night. I'm like, fuck, it takes for like we redid our streets here in my house, and that shit took like 3 weeks.
Oh,
Just one street to re.
probably just to paint it.
Yeah, it's just
Like,
yeah,
dude, and it takes 12 people and only one guy with a shovel and sweat. Everyone else is just
yeah,
standing around looking at the sky or talking to each other,
with the vest on,
all with the vests on.
yeah,
They got
and
that
it's just like,
PPE, man.
and I'm just like, it's funny because they're like, oh, no parking between 8 and 5, for like 2 weeks.
Right, because
Eh,
that's when they were there.
Yeah, they wouldn't arrive until like 9, and it'll be like 3 p.m. and they're fucking done. They're already like leaving, and I'm
And you
like,
know what's fucked? And you won't get a ticket for that
yeah,
because if they're already gone, they would be the ones that would call on you.
yeah,
But still, it's kind of like, damn, like it's like it's your own house. Like you should feel like you could park there. And
that's 3 hours of parking, during
well, dude, and
fucking
that's the thing too. Parking in your
during COVID
neighborhood's probably
time.
not like super accessible all the time.
I'm actually lucky that I do have parking all the time. I am one of the lucky
There's like
areas
good
in East
street
San
parking
Jose.
over there.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
I'm pretty lucky.
Well, don't you live
For
by a
several
park
reasons.
too?
Yeah, that's why. Because
Yeah. Okay.
I
Yeah.
got the
Yeah.
park across the street. Not only that, but also my neighbors to this side over here that they didn't have a car. They're kind of vacant for like for a while.
Yeah.
And the house next to it was it's just a single family, so
Right.
they only had like 2 cars, and they used their garage, so like parking is definitely, is not that big of an issue. But I know pre-COVID, because I lived across the street from a park, um we we were not allowed to park on Fridays,
Ah. Yeah.
Saturdays and Sundays from 10 till whatever 5 a.m. It's because they just didn't want people to park and go to
Well,
the park across the street and then go to the park or whatever.
I know a lot of
Um,
places.
you know, gain.
Well,
Go ahead.
that and a lot of places actually don't allow you to park overnight at parks. I mean, even it's like that over here.
Yeah,
I think it's mostly like what you said. It's definitely liability, and it's definitely like, why are you
yeah,
out here this late?
yeah. No,
Yeah.
but this is not even like a parking structure for the park. It's
No, I
just
know.
like
No,
street
it's just
parking.
like a regular street parking near the park,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
but see, that's the thing. They're probably thinking you're a fucking drug addict or a pervert.
Exactly.
So
Yeah, exactly.
yeah,
Or like, gang
or
activity or
gang, like you
something in
said,
the
criminal
park.
activity.
Yeah. So it sucked because I'm like, fuck, I can't park
Like,
across the
dude, it's
street
just
from
I
my
just
own
need a
house.
park. Yeah.
Yeah. The worst though, because on the every third Friday they come and do my they what's it called?
Street cleaning.
Yeah, street cleaning, street sweeping. You would think you will start across the street where you're not allowed to park already, because I got in a ticket where I park like on the Thursday night,
Uh,
and I get a ticket because once it's 12
or you'll
o'clock, it's
forget which
Friday.
side and shit.
Yeah.
Ugh.
So as I've gotten tickets where I park across the street on the Thursday at 12 o'clock, it becomes Friday. I get in the parking fucking meter, or parking people come over like at 3 or
Yeah.
4 in the morning and leave you a ticket. And I'm like, son of a bitch. Like, I can't even, whatever. So when the sweeper comes, you would think they will start across the street where you're already not allowed to park Friday, Saturdays, and Sundays.
Yeah.
No, they start on the one where they allow you to park, or where you're permitted to park on Fridays. Then you have to move that by like 7 p.m. or 7:30 p.m. or a.m. You have to wake up hella early just to
Ugh.
park it across the street, and then um allow the sweeper pass by. So I'm like, fuck, why can't I just start across the street? But
Yeah,
or
that's
just give
annoying.
us it's like little small things, and I feel so fucking entitled doing this, but I wrote a letter once to my Congress
Oh wait, what
representative
about this?
about the same thing. I'm like, why
Yeah,
wouldn't you just start the parking cross? And then I told him also, I'm like, listen, let's be real here. We live in East San Jose. Even though these homes are single homes, we know multiple families live in these
right.
homes because it's so expensive. Why can't we just get like permits? Like, I'm more than happy to pay 60 or 80 bucks a year to get a little parking permit saying, oh, this dude lives here. He can park across the street uh near the park, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday without paying the fucking 40 or
That's a
fifty
good
dollar
point because
parking
they're
ticket.
already the only argument they would have against it would be they wouldn't want to spend the money to enforce it, but they already are enforcing it. So you could just be like, look, I have a right to. I mean, that's actually a very good point because they're already technically involved with your area. It's not like they're spending more money by doing that. They would just literally be. But see, that's the thing that sucks. And actually, it's cool that you brought that up because to them, they're looking at it like, oh, another way for us to get more money. So they could
Yeah,
potentially actually want to do that because
yeah,
it is advantageous for them to make money from for the city because the
yeah,
city's going to get that money.
yeah.
So I mean, that's a really well thought out proposition. Did they ever fucking probably not, right? Did they ever get back
No,
to
they
you?
never got back to
How
me.
many how
But
many
I'm
years
like,
ago was this?
this is like 5 years ago.
Oh
And
fuckers,
then,
yeah, they didn't get back to you.
yeah, but I'm like, I'll be more than happy to pay, for a parking permit. Even
Yeah,
if it's less than $100, it's that peace of mind. $100 a year, which allows, because if the whole thing is like, okay, well, we don't allow you to park near the park because of gang activity or something. Like, well, if I live across the street, I'm not gonna fuck up my own, I'm not gonna go tag my own park or something. And it's just like, it's a piece of is a peace of mind where, like, I don't have to park like 2 or 3 blocks down the street. I can just go across the street, you know, and not get worried that I'm gonna get a ticket for, because I parked there on the weekends or something.
right.
So I don't know. Once this whole COVID thing is over, or next
Well, once
town
COVID's
hall.
over, yeah, like you said, people aren't just stuck inside as much. Maybe they'll.
Yeah, and I don't think, and I mean, to be
But then
honest, they're
again,
not
you
really
probably won't have
doing.
parking either because you'll probably just have more visitors in your neighborhood.
Yeah, and the thing is, right now they're not really enforcing those parking laws in residential areas for the
Dude,
same reason.
are they enforcing express lanes?
They are. I
They
think they
are?
are. Yeah, because I seen the sign, but I know San Jose wasn't enforcing parking um for like 3 months, but now they are enforcing parking in downtown because my friend got a parking ticket once.
Well,
she
dude,
was like,
so yeah.
she was like, "What the fuck?" Well, since when they start enforcing them? Like, well, you should just put a quarter in it
So
just in case.
I could totally be jinxing myself right now, which I probably am, but I drove to Santa Rosa last 2 weekends ago, which is
Mm-hmm.
about 2 hours from Tracy. And
Right.
um on the way, geez, I totally lost my train of thought.
You drove up to Santa Rosa.
I forgot the whole premise of what I was talking about. It's so
Uh,
annoying. Um, what were we just talking about?
about I'm pretty
God.
sure with the park and with the express lane or something.
Oh, right. So Fast Track, when I was crossing the Richmond Bridge, it says no cash. Look for bill in the mail. I'm like, bullshit. No
Yeah.
way. So then someone told me that, but I think this was for the 84, which cuts through Livermore and goes down to 680.
Okay.
Um, they were saying because the express lanes knew there that they weren't enforcing it, but I may or may not have been using the express lane for the last, like, let's just say countless times.
Okay.
I may or may not have a fast track.
Mm-hmm.
So One day I'm just gonna get a bill that says you now work for Fast Track.
Yeah.
You are property of Fast Track.
Yeah, they're
You have
gonna fast
violated
track
us
that ass.
enough. Yeah. You cannot use any bridge in California.
It's I know the Golden Gate is just like they'll send you the bill, which doesn't make
Well, that was
sense. I'm like,
before COVID, but now they
yeah,
all do that
really? Yeah,
because they
that makes
can't have
sense.
toll booth people. They're handling cash. They'd be
Yeah.
spreading. They're spreading germs. They're taking germs.
And I fucking hate that, dude. I hate that all these bridges are only cash only. Like,
I
why
I
can't you just use
I do too, but you
ATM?
know what part of that is? I think the cash only aspect is literally the job of the toll booth people. Like, because if you
Yeah.
get rid of the cash part, there literally is no reason to have them there.
No.
It could literally just be all electronic.
Like, but
But I'm not saying, see, here's the thing. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm
yeah.
just saying that's the downside of getting rid of it is putting
Mm-hmm.
people out of work. But that not, hey, I hate to say it, dude, but sometimes you got to break some eggs and to improve something.
Here's my thing. What would happen if I did not have cash? I'm trying to pass that bridge.
Well, they're
Like,
already phasing cash out anyway. So it
yeah.
is kind of becoming an obsolete position. Like
Mm-hmm.
toll booth worker, during COVID, it's been non existent. So I
Yeah.
don't think that's going to come back. I
No.
think you're good. I mean, here's the thing though. Per people that used to work at toll booths, well, now you can go get a job at grocery store. Like
Yeah.
there's other avenues that are clearly hiring on a massive level. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, okay, I know. Maybe the toll booth work was nice because you don't have to. I don't know. That job doesn't seem fun at all. But maybe people like it because you can just listen to your earbuds and AirPods and just chill and whatever. But I don't know,
Yeah.
dude. I wouldn't want to be sitting in a booth all fucking day, not moving and just taking change, taking cash, giving change. That is so mundane.
Yeah.
I would go crazy, and then you can't even leave. Like you got to make sure don't get run over by like cars going 60 miles an hour. And
Yeah.
I'm
Imagine
good, dude.
imagine you have like booth number 7 and you have to go take your break or something.
But you know what I think they
Crossing
do?
all those freaking
I don't think you do that. I think there's stairs going down.
uh-huh.
I don't know if I'm right at all. I would assume there's stairs going down from each booth, and there's like a hallway underneath the road because how there's no way they're gonna have all these fucking people crossing through lanes because that's the thing. Like, but then again, maybe I'm wrong because the only lanes that are express lanes are pretty much fast track, and those are all on the left.
Yeah.
And most of the people are all towards the right. So maybe I'm
Yeah.
completely wrong. This could be another 21st Amendment, which technically I was wrong. And yeah, technically I was wrong because it was this
But
other part of the amendment. But yeah, it was
we
one of
knew we
those
were in the
hunch things
20s.
where it wasn't correct.
But we knew we were in the 20s, so.
We knew we were in the 20s. There's something that happened to Steph. So I wasn't even going to talk about this until I got home. And I got home around 8.
Mm-hmm.
15. A lot of traffic today, and it's probably because everyone's leaving for the week.
Traveling. Yeah.
Traveling. But it was super creepy. So Steph, she sent me a text earlier with a picture because she took the boys to a park near the daycare we use. And you know, she mentioned that there were 2 young kids. There's one boy that was up like 8, and the other seemed like his younger brother was around 4 or 5.
Mm-hmm.
But just the interaction she described with me with those children was super fucking creepy. So she's sitting on a bench with my 6-month-old son
Mm-hmm.
and then my 3-year-old, and you know, clearly it's like, to me, I don't know. I'll just explain it and then I'll go and get into detail. But she's sitting there with my sons. This older, you know, like 8-year-old kid goes up to them, and literally the first thing he says to my wife is, "Yeah, so I just got adopted, and
Oh shit.
yeah, exactly." And then, oh, it gets better. Well, and I mean, I used to live with my mommy and daddy, but mommy got sick and mommy died. And then I just lived with daddy, but now I live with my uncle and I don't live with daddy anymore.
Mm.
So then I was like in my head and I looked at her. I'm like, okay,
Yes.
so this is strange. This kid is very comfortable around you. That's kind of odd, but kids kind of do that, and kids
Yeah.
vent and they like to talk to get their emotions out. Okay, I get it. But then it got weirder because then the younger one comes up and goes, "Oh, you got a really cute baby." Once again, not that weird.
Yeah.
But then it just goes,
Kids.
"Oh, I have a sister. Oh, wait, I actually have two sisters." And it's just like, I looked at Steph and I'm like, the way you're describing this interaction to me is very like, have you seen, what is it, like children? Was it Village of the Damned or whatever?
So I haven't seen
But,
Children of the
but you know the
Village of
premise,
the Damned.
right? How they're like kids that are basically like adults.
Yeah. Who directed that movie?
Well, I know Stephen King's story.
Uh-huh. And I think
Christopher Reeve, I
it's
think, was in the movie, the
I
miniseries.
I definitely want I've it's one of those movies that I always wanted to see because I
But
know it's
it,
just a creepy
it's
premise.
not
But yeah,
really
yeah.
giving the plot away or anything, but it's just like,
Yeah.
I got a vibe like almost like an alien vibe, right? Like,
Yeah.
like we're not really kids. You know what I mean? Just that kind of fucking weird vibe. And
Very Children of the Corn.
yes, like we have ill intentions. We're seeming innocent and damaged, but it's just so your guard's down. That's
Yeah.
the vibe I get. And I even told Steph, and she's like, meanwhile, I'm like, oh, are your parents nearby? And then they were just like, no. And then she's looking around at this point, like, where
Yeah, like
am I getting cased? I'm about to get jumped.
yeah.
She said there were no cars near us. Then this is the part that creeped me out. Then the kid goes, oh, can we play with your son? To
That's cult shit.
Yeah, like I'm like, nah, like to my kid, my 3-year-old, and then they were even trying to get his food, and then but not in like a bullying way, and like oh, what are you eating? And then this is what Steph said. She was like, oh, they were like, oh, don't worry, I won't eat it. I know it's your food. It's like this very odd, just super
Yeah.
creepy. Like, so I told her, I'm like, first of all, I'm like, don't go back to that fucking park anymore. Second of
Yeah.
all, I was like, dude, I told her, I'm like, my gut feeling is that those kids are straight up like, and I could be wrong, but it doesn't matter. I'm a parent, so I'm allowed to be paranoid. Um, my gut feeling is those kids are in on it. Like, I know there's rings where the kids are in on that shit, dude.
Yeah.
And that's how fucked up people are. Like, they'll bring the kids into that shit, and they do it, man. So they'll like, the best fucking cover, dude, is a child, because you're immediately, most people, and I say most, probably like 99% of people will give the kid the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah, because they're just kids.
They're just fucking kids, and that's
Yeah.
bullshit. Because, dude, you know as well as I do, there's 10-year-old fucking murderers out there, and oh, for sure. And like, dude, and if
Yeah.
you go to a third world country, are you kidding me? 7-year-olds, 8-year-olds already dealing in shit. Like,
Yeah.
this whole child thing, that this American culture that we painted, granted, is innocent, but it's not accurate, dude. Like,
Mm-hmm.
kids aren't as dumb, aren't as innocent. I mean, there's a level of innocence in children, but it's not for all children. Some kids are really different. And,
Mm-hmm.
and a lot of that's nurture. You know, they had some really fucked up history with their parents, or with some guardian of some sort, right? There's of course levels of abuse that go into this, but at the end of the day, you know, it's like, I can't feel sorry for someone that's trying to put my family in danger.
Yeah.
You know, I have to make the right judgment call, and she did too. And even though, like, part of her, I'm sure, and part of me, even when she was telling me the story, was like, oh man, I feel for these children. But at the end of the day, it's like, they didn't seem hungry. They weren't like desperate. But the thing that was weird was just how clingy they were. Because I even told her, I was like, she said, okay, no, we're gonna leave, and then they were like, oh, well, when you're done, can you come back and we can play more? And I told her, I said, but babe, like, there's two things creepy about that. It's like, one is you guys never played with them, so how do they even know that they want to play with you? And
Yeah.
like, And the other thing too is I told Steph, I'm like, I, I I wasn't the most confident kid when I was younger, but I also
Mm-hmm.
was like, I wasn't like an introvert, but I never. I mean, I can't personally remember a time where me and my friends were hanging out, and then I saw like I mean, I wouldn't say young woman because if I'm a child, that looks like an adult, a mom.
Mm-hmm.
Like I've never in my mind ever one wanted to and had the confidence to go up to a complete stranger with their two kids and want to hang out and talk. It's just
Right.
so artificial and like odd, dude. Like,
And the thing is,
what
like,
was the
what are
point of
these
that?
kids' parents though?
Well, that's what she
Like,
said because see, like as a woman, it's a little less creepy to be at a park with a bunch of kids.
yeah,
But let's just say it was me. You know, I'm even if I'm at the park with my two kids, if these weirdos start freaking out and screaming something,
yeah,
everyone in that fucking neighborhood is going to assume I'm the weirdo around all these children.
yeah,
And even though two of these kids are mine and two of these kids are psychopaths. So
yeah.
that's the thing that scares me is knowing that I have almost no rights in this country as a man because of
Mm-hmm.
how culturally we've become so over over with the chauvinist and all this shit, but now we're become so compensating with feminism that it's kind of and I think some ways trying to filter out things that we have and it's like I get it. I get the times are changing, but I don't feel like anything needs to be necessarily filtered out. I feel like it's just like we just need to be better. Like
Mm-hmm.
what's the problem with the story? You know, the problem with the story is it's these two kids. The first part of the story, when she even mentioned it, she's like, there's a 7-year-old and a 4-year-old hanging out. I'm like, by themselves. I'm like, I still wouldn't let my kids, if they my sons were at that age group, which they
Yeah,
will be one day, hang out. Because here's the thing, too. How do they know Steph wasn't a predator? How do they know?
yeah,
It's just so weird to me, dude. And like, I even told Champ, like, I said, like, you know, you don't answer the door for anyone. Even if a stranger comes up to you and they have kids with them, you don't go with them because, dude, there's people with kids. Like I said, once again, there's people with kids that will fucking take more kids, and those kids probably might not even be their children. Like, there's so much
mm-hmm.
fucked up, weird shit in this world,
Yeah,
you know, and it's like this falls in line with the Omen thing because she was taking this all as a sign, like to get out of the park, you
mm-hmm.
know, and Omens sometimes I think like it's instinct too, right? It's
Yeah. It's
survival.
that sixth sense.
Yeah, dude, it's something saying this is something ain't right here.
Mm-hmm.
You know, something isn't right. And see, none of it necessarily was literal because nothing really happened. But the way it was speculated, the way it was communicated, that is all what feeds into that Omen mentality, which is what gave her the freaking inclination to get the fuck out of there, man,
Yeah.
because it's just so scary. I told her it's my biggest fear to have anything like that happen to my children because
Mm-hmm.
I realistically know there's almost nothing I can do. And once something like that happens, the only thing you can do is be preventative, you know.
Yeah.
But once something like that happens, it's like, what do you do? I even told her, I'm like, so cool. I know people that know people, but with my luck, I'll whack the wrong dude. And then I'll get the other guy whacked that didn't need to get whacked. And then it's just this whole stupid dark comedy that's my
Yeah.
life. And it's like, that's totally how it would work. It's not like I know Tony Soprano or Big Pussy and they'll just fucking go whack a dude for me and I'll just buy him a cannoli and we're good. That's just not how it works out here.
No.
But maybe we need to move to Jersey. I don't know.
Maybe, but I mean, does it still go down like that though? Since the ending of The Sopranos,
You know what's cool though? There's going to be a prequel movie about The Sopranos.
that is true.
And one of my favorite
But
comedians is in it.
you know what? We have the Sons of Anarchy out here in the West Coast,
We
especially
do.
in
And you
Northern
know,
California area.
I love the original show. I didn't really care for the Mayans.
Yeah, neither did I.
Dude, and it sucks so much because I love Mexican culture. I love cartels.
Yeah,
How can you fuck it up? Somehow.
it,
Just
it
wasn't
wasn't.
interesting to me at all.
No, same
It
here.
felt like
What?
Narcos. It felt like Diet Narcos mixed with Sons of Anarchy.
On the side note, though, the one of the actors from the Mayan series
Mhm.
was the singer for the hardcore band Thick as Blood.
No shit.
Yeah.
Nice.
Um.
Cool. So they
So
kind of did what they did with Henry Rollins. They like brought like a punk or a hardcore guy. That's tight.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So this guy, his name is Gino, the actor.
Hmm.
I met him when I went on tour with Maya like 10
Right.
years ago or something. For like the last week that we were on tour, we kind of we were asked to join this way bigger tour, and Thick as Blood was playing.
Right.
And the guys from Maya knew Thick as Blood because when they came around the Bay Area, they opened whatever, they knew
Right.
each
Right.
other.
Right.
So I'm like, all right, cool. Um, became really good friends with like the merch guy and a couple members of the band, whatever. Then then the band kind of stopped, and then Gino said, yeah, he was going to go into acting. And I'm like, all right, whatever, Twitter. Fucking 2 or 3 years later, or whatever, I'm seeing the Mayan ones, and I'm looking at the I'm this his character was the bodyguard of the Mexican cartel guy.
Oh, okay.
He had like the long
Oh,
ponytails,
the
and I'm
pretty
seeing this.
boy cartel guy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And I'm looking at the bodyguard, and I'm like, "Psh, no fucking Mexican has fucking ponytails out there. What the fuck?" And
Yeah, that's hella 90s.
yeah, and I'm seeing this. I'm like, dude, that guy looks hella familiar. I'm like, that dude looks hella familiar. And it wasn't until like I'm like, I wonder who he is. And I saw I looked him up, and I'm like, oh shit, it's the dude from Thick as Blood. And I'm like, oh
Did you
shit.
hit him up?
Nah, he doesn't have his Twitter no more. He probably
Does he have,
getting
is he on the gram?
maybe I'll look him up on the
You
gram.
should, man. You should reach out to him. Be like, yo, I saw you on fucking Mayans.
Yeah. I
Hey, it
doubt he'll
might
remember
spark.
me.
Hey, dude, it sounds silly, but it might spark something. It's cool, man. You gotta reach.
Yeah,
Sometimes when you think, hey, that Omen thing, dude, you're thinking about the
yeah,
dude. Sometimes, like I
yeah,
was saying, man, when you think about people, regardless of like
yeah,
the significance of the relationship you guys have,
yeah,
maybe there's a reason. You gotta reach out to him. Something cool might come
yeah.
out of
I'll,
it.
I'll reach out to him. It's funny because I was telling this story to the drummer of Arsonist Gets All the Girls, because he
Oh
was
shit.
also
Okay.
Arsonist Gets All the Girls was also on this tour. And I remember right before tour started, we played the shows together. And I'm like, all right, cool, whatever. Like, all right, good luck, guys. We'll see you later. And then next thing you know it, 2 or 3 weeks later, we all hook up and we're part of this tour. And I remember like seeing the guys from Arsons Gets All the Girls and their tour manager, who's also a good buddy of mine. And we're just like, oh shit, it was cool. It was like a cool like homecoming.
Yeah.
And it was cool. It was surreal, like being on the side of the stage with like, 200 or 300 kids in the venue, and there's like your buddies from Santa Cruz fucking tearing it up, and you're just like on the side of the stage. It's like fucking total dream. Like you have the old
Oh,
access
dude.
pass, and they're like, "Oh,
Yeah.
it's cool. I'm allowed to be here. I can be anywhere." Like so that was cool. And then I remember I just brought up this story a couple of weeks ago to the drummer, because he just reopened his Facebook and we started reconnecting. And he goes, "Oh, he asked like the public's like, oh, what's your favorite story of Arsenic Gets Little Girls?" And I told him, like, hey, dude, I'm not sure if you remember, but we hooked up, 2010 in El Paso, Texas. Like, so it's random. And he goes, holy shit, dude. He's like, I remember that. He's like, I was just thinking about that and how random it was that My Overrise was, got thrown into this tour, and it was like a mini home tour,
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, dude, I always think about that because it was just so fucking random. Like, oh, by the way, all the rest of these tours, like the shows, like they fell through, but now you got thrown to this like random ass tour, and
That's
it's like,
super cool.
dude, and it was like all these hardcore like metal death,
It's basically
metalcore
like
bands.
you're like at that blind date convention thing, and you're like,
Yeah,
they pull you aside. You're like, all right, look, you played, but now you can go hang out. Like, we're gonna shut this one down, but we're opening up a one where they're all just hot people.
yeah,
But you
and
can
that's the
come.
one
But
you
you
can
can
do.
come too.
Yeah, and that's exactly what it was. And it was just so weird, dude, because like we went from playing like to 20 people at a show to like 100, 200
Oh,
people,
that's a
300
big
people.
jump.
Playing in like actual venues, not like some dude's backyard. It was like actual venues,
Yeah.
and like with tour managers and passes and check-in times and check out and load in times and all this shit. And we're just like, this is so fucking surreal right now. But it was cool, dude.
Yeah,
I
dude,
love it.
it's funny you bring all this up because I literally was just thinking about how I want to do an episode about, because it's been one of my dreams, one, to be in a band,
Yeah.
um, and two, to play live shows and to go on tour. I don't know
Hmm.
if it's something I really actively want to do anymore, but it's still one of my dreams. And like, I know we need to literally spend an episode just on that. And because I think it'd
Yeah.
be super interesting, and I'd like to, because
Yeah.
I don't think we've really touched, at least I haven't asked you much about,
Hmm.
your Maya over I's tenure and how it was. And
Yeah.
I don't want to do any of it now. I want to save it for a later time because I know
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
juicy and awesome. But that is just, you've so far lived a very unique life.
And it's all by luck, man.
Well, maybe, but
Yeah.
maybe it's luck, maybe it's your path, but at the end of the day, man, when these kids give you shit, you just got to look at them and be like, listen, I played bass for a band your parents would hate if you listened to. All right. So
Yeah.
you need to relax. Okay. You're not
Yeah.
just talking to some guy who wears a suit and tie and comes to school. And no, dude, listen, dude, what's funny is I think the lead singer of Bury Your Dead is a school teacher.
Dude, all of them are teachers now, dude.
Really?
Like,
All the guys from that band too?
just a
Or
lot
most
of
of them?
like these bands that we grew up listening to, they're all teachers now.
It's
It's just
funny.
like remember this hardcore band called Have Heart?
I
They're
don't. I
huge. Okay,
have
well,
heart.
they're a huge East Coast like straight edge band. The
Yeah.
singer's a history teacher now. you know,
Yeah.
Same thing for Bury Your Dead. There was this emo band on Drive Thru Records called the Hidden in Plain View. I'm not sure if you.
I've heard of them. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Same thing. The singer's now like a fucking math teacher. Like all these people are just teachers now, and it's just weird that.
Well, it's we all got to work,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah, I think so. I think that's exactly what happens. Like you all have to work, and it's just like you realize, especially like after the 2000s, like how difficult it is to be a an
Yeah.
independent artist like that, and not like and
Well,
not work regular jobs.
well, and you know what's even weirder, dude, is how do you promote and market and play shows now?
It's so difficult, dude, because
So,
no one
because that's
wants
the
to go.
thing, exactly. Like when you're a well-known act, sure, great. Who cares? Who gives a fuck?
Yeah,
You already have your audience in your market, and they'll come to
yeah,
you. How do you go? How do you zoom to people? How do you fucking? You basically
yeah,
have to assume that everyone gives a shit about your Facebook Live or your
yeah,
Instagram. But that's the thing, dude. Still, it's like, are you going to want to put the resources together and the money together to play a show on Instagram Live just to get 60 views?
yeah.
That's
No,
a
and
lot of work, dude. And you're not going to get
I
paid.
I feel like MySpace really ruined it. It was a great tool to get your music out there and get become an artist and stuff.
Yeah.
But it's just everybody started doing it where people it was really hard to do it now. Not like no one's gonna fucking follow your band on Instagram. No one's gonna follow you on
I
Facebook.
mean,
No one's gonna follow.
they will, but it's just like it's not an overnight success thing. And like,
No.
dude, it's just like you're not going to be the guy drinking cranberry juice listening to Fleetwood Mac. It's just not going to happen. Okay, that
No.
doesn't happen. That guy is a lottery ticket winner. That
Hmm.
guy's the guy who gets struck by lightning and comes at the same time. It's
Yeah.
just there's a low likelihood of all those things happening.
Yeah.
And for him, it happened, especially the
And
lightning. I read about it.
and even then, like that dude skating, drinking cranberry juice, and singing to Fleetwood Mac. Before that, he was already like a somewhat established TikToker. Like he had like quite a following.
Dude,
So
yeah, just
it's just that one was the one that hit. That one's
yeah.
that took him to the next level.
I'm just a hater, dude, because a lot of people were like, dude, let him be who he is. And like, I get that. And I'm not saying he shouldn't. I'm just
Hmm.
saying, society wise, we glorify a bunch of shit I feel like that isn't that great. You know?
That's true.
And like, I'm not saying what he's doing is dumb or what he's doing isn't cool. I'm
Hmm.
just saying, and it's not his fault,
Hmm.
but I'm just saying it's like, why do we celebrate such mediocre shit?
Yeah.
Like, what is that? Why are we just so like, oh my God, he's being himself? It's like, so am I every night. I go into my garage and I smoke weed. Oh my God, should I post a video online?
Like, why do
The
we give
fuck?
as a society? Why do we give such a fucking fuck to the Kardashians?
Or that, like the fact that we
Like,
care about so many dumb fucking like, dude, the amount of shit we got as younger kids for liking heavy music, you know?
mm-hmm.
And then you got all these dumb kids that glorify the Kardashians.
Yeah,
And they're accepted and in society as being fans of other people that are just shit.
like Jersey Shore. Why
Or
the
that's
fuck?
a great example.
Like, why the fuck were we so, as a society, everybody was so intrigued on these six characters acting a fool, and how much was it an act, and how much was it real? You know, I also think about like the Paris Hilton, Nicole Richie, The
Oh
Simple Life, whatever.
God, that was
Like,
definitely fake.
like, oh yeah. And by the way, Paris Hilton and Nicole Richie, they're fucking genius. Like, they're smart women. Like that whole role
Well,
of them playing like the bimbo dits or whatever.
I mean,
It was
that was a smart move. I don't know if I'd go along as saying they're smart women.
that
Yes,
was a smart move.
I know
Yes,
what you
because
mean.
they're not in the way. They don't talk that way. They're not.
But
They know
I
exactly
also
what
don't
them.
think any of that was either of their fucking ideas.
No, absolutely not.
Someone, dude, they have an agent. They have a family
Yeah,
friend that makes a lot of money that said, hey, look,
we
you
have an
and your
idea.
fucking drugged up alcoholic friend should be on a reality show. You guys going and
Mhm.
doing simple things that you don't know how to do because you're rich white girls.
Yeah.
You know what's sad? That thing was
It-
one of the most popular fucking shows on television during its time.
you know what's funny? They probably know how to do that shit. They're
That's what I
just
mean.
pretending.
Like, and it's that whole like. Here's the thing. Like, I'm biased. I'm not into white
Yeah.
girls. Here's the thing, though. I could give two shits about two white women learning how to fucking milk a cow. I just don't give a
Exactly.
shit, dude. I don't care. There's a
Yeah.
million fucking people that do that already.
Yeah.
Once again, glorifying mediocre, average bullshit.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
look, a rich person doing what we do. Why is that a big deal?
What's that big deal? Who cares?
Why do we love what rich people do so much?
I blame it on the 80s and the lifestyles.
You know, it's the cocaine. We're not
It
snorting
was.
pure coke anymore. It's cut down to baby laxatives and Clorox. And what we
Mhm.
need to do is we need to bring that stuff back.
We gotta
I
bring it
want
back
I
at a
want the
reasonable
cream
price.
colored Coke again. I'm sick of this white stuff. Sometimes
We-
white ain't right.
We, we need the good stuff at a reasonable price. Again.
Well, reasonable price. Now you're asking a lot.
Oh, yeah, I'm just saying.
You
let's
know how
bring
this
back-
shit works, man.
Can we get like a throwback 80s where like it was cheaper?
Yeah. Just before
Always.
before like 3 wars. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was back when we were just dealing with the Cold
No, we
War.
got to. No, I think the 80s was still. It was the prices were going up. We gotta take it back to like the 60s.
Take it to the bridge. Yeah, we gotta
back to the 60s. What?
take it back to the '60s where we had race riots and
Yeah.
we landed on the moon. If you believe that,
If you believe that, some people.
I believe it.
especially-
I do believe it. I do like the theory that I think we've talked about this before, right?
Maybe.
Maybe not. I always mix up. I talk about conspiracies so goddamn much, but I believe that there's a potential that the footage is fake.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I don't know whether I said it here or not, but my argument that makes sense to me is that because of the time politically while this was happening, which was the Cold War,
Yeah.
and who are we going up against in space
Yeah.
exploration? Russia. So whoever looks weak, looks, you know what I mean? You can't look
Yeah,
weak when
totally.
you're a world power, especially when tensions are high, because one, it'll either provoke an attack or it'll make other people not want to back you up because they think you're weak too.
Yeah.
It's just this whole weird shit, right? So I'm just like, fuck. But it's strange, like how it's just very odd, like what we're into right now, and that's the beauty of music, dude, because it is one of the last honest art forms.
Yeah.
And then there's some music that isn't, but then don't listen to it, because even though
Yeah,
it's getting jammed down your
What it
throat,
is.
it's really easy. I gotta say, man, it right now. It's better than ever to listen to independent music and not be feeling like you're getting things pushed down your throat anymore. Because one, we're not so dependent on the radio anymore.
No.
Um, I still listen to terrestrial radio because I'm an old piece of shit like that. I'm also lazy in my car and I don't always want to queue up a song because I'm very indecisive.
Hmm.
Um, but like, yeah, like we got so many things at our fingertips, you know. So it's like there's no excuse for us not to find, our muse, whatever that
No,
is.
and it's true, dude. Like, as far as the radio stations I listen to, there's two radio stations I'm just listening to constantly, which is 98.5, which is the classic rock.
K Fox, yeah,
Yeah, and then the Bone 107.7,
got
which
it.
is also like
Classic
classic
rock, yeah.
heavier rock. Except for right now. Right now I'm listening to
Oh, because
96.5
it's the Christmas station.
because it's a Christmas station.
I
Exactly.
know. See, I told you, I know all this shit.
Yeah, that's honestly that's the only three stations I listen to. I used to love Live 105, but
Oh,
I
well,
stopped listening to it a long
I know
time
what
ago.
era you liked. That was the No Name era.
Oh hell yeah, dude.
But it sucks because then he went to K Fog, and then they got rid of K Fog, and I was like, what the fuck, dude?
Yeah, it turned to like some Christian.
Oh, dude, don't even.
I was listening to him like, what the fuck?
Put Satan
What
back
the
on the
fuck?
radio right now.
I want Satan. We want Satan. I'm gonna go out there.
I want to wash my face in the blood of the innocent. I want to listen to music.
I want Behemoth
Yes,
on the
I
radio.
want corpse paint, and I want churches burned.
I want Dark Funeral talking about how I'm in legion with the devil. And I'm like, yes, I am. I'm ready for this battle. I'm not going to go fight it, but I'm ready for it. I'm like, sure.
I want Venom.
Yeah. Please. I want shitty guitar tones, blast beats, and no idea what the hell you're talking about.
All filmed in a basement on a laptop microphone.
You know what's funny, dude? You know what's funny?
Huh.
Like these bands like the Norwegian
Oh yeah,
like
death metal and
Mayhem
shit.
and yeah, like Mayhem and what's the other one?
Mortal.
Yeah, like all these
Yeah, yeah,
like
yeah.
your dark metal or death metal, whatever you call it.
I think it's black metal.
Black
Yeah,
metal,
yeah.
yeah. They purposely recorded it
Oh, shitty.
shitty. Yeah,
Yeah,
because they just
it's
wanted
like
it to
it's like
sound like
fucking grindcore.
yeah,
It's
like
retarded. I hate that.
like
I hate that.
out like Mayhem's debut album. I was seeing like some documentary, like they purposely pick like the shittiest
Dude, yeah,
amps,
that was
the
a black
shittiest
metal thing.
microphone, the shittiest settings, and like the vocals, like the guy used headphones like ours,
Yeah.
and then they made it, you know how like, a microphone, and he was literally singing through that. That's when it sounds like so shitty, just
Like,
I'm like, what the
here's the
fuck?
thing I don't understand about that is like I get the mentality. It's like it's so punk rock, but it's like, dude, if I don't understand what the fuck's going on, and I already listen to devil music, then you got problems, okay?
Yeah,
Because I can
there's
already
something going
understand
on.
growling and shit, and people are already like, "What is that?" And I'm like, "Dude, come on." But like, I can't even make out that black metal shit, dude. I'm just like, you know what? There's a reason you guys are tucked away in fucking Eastern Europe. Keep this shit to yourself.
That's why you fuckers go and play in the snow like
Yeah.
at 2 or 3
This
in the
is why.
morning.
This is why you need a journal and not a tape recorder.
Please, please. I'm gonna have some respect for your art. God damn it!
Now go get outside and join your brothers and build that fucking bridge.
Please, please. Your Norway will love this new bridge. We need it.
Do you think like
Exactly what they need.
they're
right
blasting
now.
like some fucking bullshit? Like while they're building the bridge, it's like death metal juiced.
That'd be awesome.
That
Like,
would
I
be
can see a
cool.
guy- I don't think they'll. Well, nah, probably not. They won't be blasting.
I feel like metal's like Foo Fighters to the Norwegian area.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's so much more common out there. It's not
Yeah.
like this taboo thing. Like,
Yeah.
dude, but you know what it also is? I feel like it's because of the Norse mythology and just how hardened they are as a culture. Like, even though they're
Yeah,
very
yeah.
friendly now, like they were one of the most like brutal fucking cultures out there with just the pure fucking warmongering.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, dude, it's insane the history that goes behind. Like, I don't know if you've ever looked up that famous story of the berserker, because they used to call them berserkers. Like the
Mm-hmm.
Vikings had these guys. They were basically human wrecking balls. They'd get them all hopped up on mushrooms. They'd have them smoke weed. They'd get them fucked up, and then they'd
Yeah.
put them in a mindset of like, you're gonna kill everything. But there's a
Mm-hmm.
story of this one dude. I don't know. I think it's like he held down a fucking bridge, dude, of over like 100 or 200 people, and he just fucking took them down. Like I think he ended up dying, but I mean the
Mm-hmm.
amount of motherfuckers that he killed by
It's like
himself,
ridiculous.
dude, fucking crazy.
Yeah.
And I mean, just learning about these guys and like, because that's what the Vikings would do before war. They'd take shrooms and be all fucked up. And I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
dude, like war is so fucked. And then,
Yeah.
dude, going to the library on mushrooms is terrifying. Can you imagine? You're like, all right, cool. Oh, let's go murder. Let's go kill. Yeah, it's like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Jesus.
No, and it's
Such
funny
a
because
crazy
it's
life.
like all the Mayan cultures also did that, and like the Aztec culture, like right before
Yeah.
they went, because you gotta remember, like war back then, if war now is brutal, imagine how war
Oh,
was
dude, it was
back
so much more
then.
personable back then too. There wasn't
Yeah.
like guns and shit.
Yeah.
You had to go
It
up to a
wasn't fucking
dude and
Jordan and
stab him
shit.
and probably feel his breath on you while you killed him.
Yeah.
That's
It
some
was.
brutal shit, dude.
Yeah. So imagine like you had to be like to deal with it psychologically. So like a lot of these like in I shouldn't say indigenous cultures, but
No, you're
like
right. Because that's
the
what it means.
civilizations.
Indigenous
They
isn't even a derogatory term.
no, but
It just
yeah,
seems like that, but it isn't. You're good.
but like Vikings and stuff, but they're indigenous to the
Yeah, they're
Europe.
indigenous
So
to Norway or whatever.
yeah, they would like take psychedelics or something that would like increase or they will eliminate them feeling pain and stuff
Right.
and will
That's
make
true
them
too.
superhumans,
Yeah.
dude.
Yeah.
Um, and also just to deal with like all the shit that you're seeing out there, also.
It's just weird to me because when I've taken shrooms, dude, all it does is really amplify whatever you're dealing with. So
Mm-hmm.
it's like, why would you ever want to amplify war in your
Yeah.
mind? Like maybe it does help because
Yeah.
what it
Surround
does is
sound
it
of it.
immerses you in it and maybe it's not as unnatural.
Mm-hmm.
Because here's the thing too, is like anything you've learned about anything like a monk related or Zen, it's mind over matter, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you've seen some of those things where those monks can do some insane shit, right?
Mm-hmm.
But like, I wonder if it's similar for that. I wonder if there was some kind of, I'm sure they had case studies that were like, it's not like they had a fucking double blind case study, but I'm sure they were like, all right, send Bjorn out there today and we'll see how he does. Like,
Yeah.
I'm sure there's a few guys that didn't do so well, and they might have figured out, okay, well, maybe let's try putting them on 3 mushrooms this time.
Mm-hmm.
It's like Mario, but it's like, it's like it's interesting, man. Like learning about, and then it makes you think about how much we demonize and criminalize all these things that, regardless of whether or not you think they're healthy for you or not. I just want to know sometimes why we criminalize things. And the reason why we don't get those answers is because the answers that are real obviously have nothing to do, most likely nothing to do with health concerns.
Mm-hmm.
More or less it's economic reasons, So it's a shame that certain stigmas get placed on certain things that I think do help. Like obviously I'm not saying go take some shrooms and go gang rape your neighbors. Not
Yeah.
saying that. What I'm saying is, maybe there is some kind of holistic healing that comes from these substances that aren't always, put in that a light. Like once again, I don't know. I don't know where LSD comes from. I mean, I know where how it's made and all that shit, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know where it comes from. So
Yeah.
I'm not going to just say, go do it. Do I want to try it? Yes, of course. One day I will. But like, I can vouch for psilocybin mushrooms and weed and stuff like that because I've used it. I actually know where it comes from, the dirt. So
Mm-hmm.
it's like, it's a little easier to trust things that are not man-made, but natural,
Natural,
But
yeah,
then keep in mind too, guys, natural things can kill you too. So,
absolutely,
just
absolutely,
I think the main thing and this kind of goes with morals and the theme this week, but education is 100% key. And because we're not a culture of educated people or that value education as
yeah,
much as we should, um, that's why they put so many of these dumb regulations, and because people aren't smart enough to educate themselves to understand what to do and what not to do. Also, people don't are lazy and they want someone to tell them what to do.
yeah.
They don't want to just be proactive enough to make their own
They
choices and
want
be
the work
free.
to be done.
I really believe that. And I really believe there's a lot of people out there that would be totally cool with a sheep society. Like, I know we're all considered sheep now, but like,
Yeah.
I'm talking like, what if there's a situation where we could all be so controlled? Like, they were like, oh, everything will be so much better. You won't have to worry about any of this, but you'll have to be blah, 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 and you have to live in this area. It's like,
Hmm.
that's scary to me. I don't want that.
No, and I think it comes down to like people not wanting to. We're so used to being convenience. That's the
Yeah.
thing. We're so used to being convenient, and we're so used to like everything just like you rather just buy some. I was having this conversation with my buddies from high school, and I'm like, dude, you know what sucks about our generation is that we were taken to school and we were told that doing labor work was for dumb people or for
Right.
unsuccessful people.
Right.
And we were told in order to be successful, we had to go college.
Right.
Now look at us. We went to college, but we don't know how to change our fucking oil. We don't know how to change like do basic, carpentry, how to do
Yeah.
basic plumbing work because we were taught that that's for dumb people. We were taught that's for uneducated people.
Mm-hmm.
Um and now whenever something like when something happens like we have to hire somebody and get fucking charge hella for for a simple task.
Yeah.
And cuz I remember, dude, I remember when I was in 10th grade, I wanted to be in photography class so much.
Right.
I want to do photography. They put me in fucking wood shop.
Yeah.
Um,
Not quite the same thing. Yeah.
no, and I didn't value it because I figured shit like all like and it was all like now I know I was putting on this track system. I was setting up, not I was gonna graduate, so they've set me up on this track system to
Right.
like learn, because all the quote unquote bad kids were there, but they're all my buddies also, which was
Right.
freaking.
So that's
I didn't
awesome.
Yeah, I didn't care after a while because it was just like having, it was like my friends, building, you know, our friends all assholes on the fucking table saw and the bend saw, cutting, doing building tables and shit,
Yeah.
for um but I wish I would have like taken that class a little bit more serious because that would
Yeah.
have been a skill. I wish I would have like go into other shop, and sell photography my junior year, because it's a skill that I wish I can use now. I wish I had those skills and knew how to do that. But no, we
Well,
were taught that, you
yeah.
know, don't be inconvenienced. Just if something breaks, rather than fix it, just go buy a new one, or hire somebody to do it for you and get,
Yeah.
pay hella.
Yeah, dude, and then it becomes that whole thing of it's like that option balance thing of do it yourself or pay someone to do it.
Exactly.
And sometimes I pay someone to do it, especially if it's something I don't feel comfortable doing or if it's
Yeah.
something I really just don't want to fucking do. I'm
Like
thinking in
the
my head, I'm like, I'll work a day for that. Yeah.
like your like the fan situation you're talking about
No, that
also.
was different. I knew I needed to do that and I didn't want to pay someone to do that. I was on the verge of actually calling someone because like I remember I said I was troubleshooting it and I couldn't figure out why it wouldn't fucking work.
Yeah.
And it was because the light switch wasn't in the on position.
Mm, that
So,
happens.
well, the thing about these houses now is I don't just have one light switch for one room. I got this panel of about 6 of them
Mm-hmm.
which, by the way, I know like what 3 of them do. And then there's like 3 of them I don't really use. I know what they do, but I'm just like, I never use them. But I'm just like, my whole thing was like, it's not like, if I only had one switch in the room, I would have been like, oh, turn it on. But,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I'm making excuses. But at the end of the day, I'm not going to have someone pay. No, I'm not going to pay someone to do a fucking fan. Because I've done, but once again, like I have somewhat of a little know-how. Like I've
Mm-hmm.
installed my porch light cameras at my old house myself. Nothing crazy, but I know basic electrical stuff, and I'm terrified of getting electrocuted. I've been
Right.
electrocuted before, but no, like I know some things, but yeah, no, overall, like I agree. Society's definitely going in the way of let's make you as dependent on us as you can be.
Mm-hmm.
Because let's face it, once you have no skill sets and all you depend on is the economy and your almighty dollar, well, once you're only dependent on one thing universally, once you take that one thing out, it's a lot easier to control that whole group of people. So
Mm-hmm.
it is kind of spooky when you think about it, but you know, once again, we just need to educate ourselves and read the 6 sources of what's going on every day and filter out the nonsense. But the more
Yeah.
importantly, read the nonsense, the funny shit, because you only need to watch the news for 4 minutes every day, and I think that's plenty.
That's more than enough. Because they start repeating the same
They
thing
repeat
anyways.
themselves. They bring all kinds of speculation that's going to give you anxiety and stress for no reason because
Mm-hmm.
none of it's real. It's speculation. It's not real. It's something you're foreshadowing or assuming or predicting, and those are
Mm-hmm.
all fine. But the minute on a mass scale you're proposing it like it's true and fixating on the negative and never talking about other things that are happening, it definitely seems like you're trying to make this mass of people depressed and dependent on
Mm-hmm.
what you're doing, which is what good comes from that. But I'm hoping I'm wrong. I'm hoping this COVID thing will blow over. Maybe we'll just bounce back to normal by March or April. I don't know, man. We'll see. I just want to get through the
Yeah.
holidays in one piece, so that's all
Yeah.
I think that we just got to focus on getting through the holidays this year and, do what you know is what, you love to do with your family, because let's face it, this might be your last Christmas. And
Yeah. It might be.
this might be your auntie's last Christmas too.
Mm-hmm.
And I know there's people out there going to be like, well, you made it her last one because you hung out with her. Well, if you believe that, then keep your distance. If you
Yeah.
don't and your auntie's cool with it, I say fucking spend time with people, dude, because this is already a hard time of year for a lot of us.
Yeah.
And we can't just, no one's happy right now. And at any age. And we gotta stick together, and we gotta be smart. I'm not saying go out, because yeah, that's the thing. Like, you can spend time with your family and your loved ones, and it's not the same as going to a bar or going to a house party. It's not.
Yeah.
So as long
And
as we're
even
smart,
and even then, like if your excuse is it's because I want to go hang out with my aunt. I haven't seen my aunt or my grandma. Yeah, I get that. 100%. I get that. But there's we do live in a place now with technology.
dude. But
FaceTime, do a Zoom call.
I know that. But dude, on a fucking Christmas, let's
Yeah,
Zoom
it's
Christmas, dude.
hard.
See how fun that is. That's
No,
terrible. I mean, I
it
get what you're
is.
saying, but it's definitely
Yeah,
not. It's definitely not. It is an option, but it's not something that's gonna get you out of feeling like shit.
you're still looking for the tangible.
Well, you need human
Um,
interaction, dude. I mean,
yeah,
like, granted, me and you are having this human interaction, but it's still, to me, not a preferred. I mean, we've talked about this. It's convenient, but it's
mm-hmm.
not my preferred method.
Yeah,
You know, um, and in our case, it's not necessarily COVID as much as it's just proximity.
yeah,
But I don't know, man. I agree. I think we gotta be smart. But like I said, it's like I'm on this whole thing, which is probably not responsible, but Like, if I don't know who you are and I'm out in public, I'm gonna wear my mask, you know. But
Yeah.
if I'm in my fucking house, dude, I'm not wearing my mask.
No, and that's I mean, I think that's the whole point.
Yeah.
No? Like if you're out in public, like obviously, wear your mask and keep your distance. But yeah, if you're in your fucking household, with the people you live with, like what's the point wearing the mask
Yeah.
within your
You're already
house?
there anyway.
Yeah, that's the other thing I don't understand. People who wear their mask while driving and there's like
Ugh.
nobody else. I fucking hate those. That's the worst.
That is
I'm
the
like,
worst.
I'm like, I'm trying to tell people like, I mean, I'm not telling nobody, but I'm like, I'm trying to comprehend why they do it. If the whole point of wearing the mask is not to prevent you from contacting it,
Yeah.
the whole point of wearing the mask is to prevent it from spreading.
Right.
That's the whole thing with these masks. Like you
Which,
can still have oxygen come in. It's just when the amount of oxygen that comes out or that is able to pass by isn't as high, which eliminates you being able to like spit talk and like
right.
pass his particles. But whatever.
No, I know. It's just, it's tough, man. You know, I mean, we just gotta, we got this, and it's gonna be a good holiday. We just gotta kind of roll with whatever is going on.
Yeah.
Um, it's okay to have our own opinions on things. Be careful how you voice them. Some people are very, very angry towards anything, whether it's
Yeah.
leaning
That.
right or leaning left or whatever. Just be mindful. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and you know what's funny today at work, even though people were pissing me off all week. I did it kind of first for myself. Like I kind of did it first to be nice to the customers, but then I realized it was kind of for me too. But I was
Mm-hmm.
telling everyone, have a happy Thanksgiving and have a great weekend. And even people that were kind of difficult, after hearing that, I noticed they were a little more happy. And
Yeah.
I think it's because this year we've all become so we all need to find our personal happy place, and sometimes we escape reality.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I'm guilty of this too. But I feel like sometimes when you say things like that, it brings people back to what they think things should be,
Yeah.
and it reminds them, oh, that's right, this is the holiday season.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just COVID season.
Yeah.
So then it's like, oh, okay, yeah, thank you, yeah, yeah, you too, and yeah, we will. This is thank you. That's so nice. Like it's like it's such a human thing. Like it's like,
And I think it also like grounds people back to like it grounds people and reminds them what's really important,
yeah,
in life,
that's true.
which is just basic human compassion towards
Hmm.
towards another. So yeah, you can be pissed off at somebody, but at the end of the day, when you say stuff like, "Oh man, have a great Thanksgiving, have a great weekend," you're like, "Yeah, yeah, you're right." It's like, yeah, I'm being an asshole right now. Like, yeah,
Right.
you too, thank you. It kind of like it grounds you.
Yeah.
I'm granted it's not gonna work for everybody, but the majority of people,
Yeah.
by saying that, you're kind of just like, yeah,
Well,
wow,
you're putting good out there, right?
yeah,
You're just like,
exactly.
I try and do it as much as I can. I'm a very negative person. I do like to complain, and and I embrace it most of the time. It's kind of who I am. But you gotta change it up. You gotta change it up, man. You can't always be drinking the same Kool-Aid. You gotta
Mm-mm.
switch it up every once in a while. So
It's changed up the flavor.
today I was like, I'm going with watermelon.
You should go with the purple one.
Well, I was gonna say I went with something equally as racist as grape. So
Mm,
yeah.
okay. Well, at least you didn't get that limon con chile or
Oh,
the cucumber one.
limon and pepino.
Yeah, because that's just nasty.
Yeah, I don't know. Although a delicious Gatorade, I don't think I would want Kool-Aid
Mm.
because I do like the cucumber lime Gatorade.
Really, I can't get into it.
No,
But that's just
you know
me.
what's weird though? It gives me heartburn, but I think it's the cucumber. I'm such a weenie.
Mm.
I get heartburn sometimes when I eat cucumbers. Isn't that? We all have our weaknesses.
We we all have those things that we sometimes choose not
Yeah, normally,
to
yeah,
like.
exactly. Share. Normally, you feel better when you share. This isn't one of
Mm-hmm.
those moments.
Mm-mm. No, but no, not this time. No, I can get into that one. It's just I tried it several times and it's just too weird for of a taste for me. I'm just
It's different. It is
yeah, so
different. It's got to be ice cold, but that's
yeah,
how most Gatorades are. I don't
that's all Gatorades.
all
Yeah.
Gatorades because it immediately goes from worldly delicious to
Mm-hmm.
s- averagely mediocre when it's
Yeah.
warm. Like it is so. Soda's probably the worst thing warm, but like, have you ever had like a really really hot root beer? Like you remember when you were a kid, you ever like
Yeah.
not all the soda is in the fridge or something, right?
Yeah.
But like,
Or
dude,
like
I
it was just barely
remember,
put there for like 5 minutes.
or yeah, like you're hella thirsty, but you just got back from the grocery store and it wasn't refrigerated, but you're like, I
Yeah.
don't care. I remember drinking some warm ass root beer, and I'm just like, never again. I mean, dude,
No.
root beer floats are served ice cold for a fucking reason.
Oh yeah.
Can you imagine a
Which is
hot root beer
delicious,
float?
dude.
Oh, dude, so good.
I love it because like the ice cream like crystallizes the root beer also
Oh yeah,
sometimes.
you
It's
get
just
the little
oh
froth, like the nice bubbles.
yeah.
I like when
Yeah.
you mix it and it becomes like this creamy.
Mm.
I don't know if that sounds good when I'm describing it, but it tastes good.
I know what you're talking because it's like a vanilla soda
Kind of,
by that
yeah.
point.
But see,
Yeah.
I'm not a cream soda guy.
Yeah.
So like I like that though. I don't know, cream
Sure.
soda's odd. That was a weird flavor. Like what is
No.
this? It's like the fucking soda that like people in the 20s or something drank.
Yeah. When you
I'm
had
like,
like a
dude, what
person
is this?
actually when you had a person who actually like will mix the soda for you.
Yeah, they're like, yeah, exactly.
A
Soda.
mixologist.
I am the mixologist of the soda company. Dude, do you think that was a job mostly done by homosexuals or I don't know what the point of that question was, but
I
what
think it was a job done by people who had a special room to hide bodies.
oh dude, all I'm saying is you got to be a certain personality to be like, "Let me mix the soda for you."
Hey, champ, what's going to be today? Regular
Yeah.
pop coming right up. All right, champ.
Yeah, yeah, or you get the guy with the little hat that sings in a quartet.
Maybe. Yeah, I mean, we're just assuming this is how they acted. We don't. For all we know, it was part of somebody like us who hated their fucking job and just be like, "Oh, you want a fucking root beer? I'll get you fucking root beer,
Fucking
you
root
know."
beer, threw a little fucking shit in there too. A little fucking didn't want.
Since we're on the subject, you know who always I found like a fucking creep, and this is a movie that always comes out
Yahoo!
around around Thanksgiving. The Candyman from Willy Wonka.
No way. You're not talking shit about Gene Wilder.
No, 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 no. Not Willy Wonka.
Oh, you're talking
He's
about the guy who works in the candy store.
exactly
Yes, I agree with you. Okay, now I know what
giving
you're
out
talking
the
about.
free candy and going,
Yeah.
who can take the sunrise?
Yeah, because wasn't he kind of touching the kids and he was being kind of weird? And then he was like, okay, closing the store because Willy Wonka's making an announcement. And he's just like,
Yeah, yeah, that
he's
dude.
into it just as much as the kids.
Yeah, like he's like, I'm sorry, you're gonna serve my kids candy and then you're gonna sing a song and the Candyman
Yeah.
makes the world. But no, dude, you're a fucking creep,
So
bro.
Vaseline makes the world better. All right, kids, rub yourselves down.
And what pisses me off is that he was literally giving out fucking free candy to all the rich white kids, and then poor little
Yeah,
Charlie
poor little
Bucket.
slumlord Charlie, where his grandparents sleep in the bed together with their feet touching.
Yeah, and he fucking charges him off thinking like, oh no, you little poor kid, you fucking pay up for this chocolate bar,
You
or
know,
whatever.
one of the comedians I love, Tim Dillon, brought up a very good point of how much of a fucking how many deadbeats and much dead weight was in Charlie's family.
Oh
Like,
yeah,
it's so shitty that pretty much all of his grandparents, from I'm assuming both sides,
yeah,
because that just makes sense. But so 4 people can't work. So 2 people work, and one of those 2 people is, I don't know, let's just say 8 or 9 years old.
yeah.
So yeah, 8 or 9-year-old has to work because see, this is why polio was invented, because these 4 old people would be dead, And then they
Yeah.
wouldn't have to fucking work 3 jobs. It would just be Charlie and his mom. She could go back to swinging on nights,
Yeah.
and everyone's happy.
I
She's
feel
not
like
getting laid when she's got 2 of her in-laws and 2 of her parents sleeping right next
I
to her.
wonder if dad was in the picture, but just had to fucking work all the
I
time.
think he killed himself. No one can live with their in-laws that long.
World War II. World War II.
World War II. He signed up.
Yeah.
He's like, get
Oh,
me out of here.
Papa never came back from the war.
Yeah, Papa didn't want to come back from the war. He married a nice Filipino in the Pacific Islands, and he's been there ever since.
Makes sense.
I didn't say
Makes
whether it
sense.
was a woman or not. I'm keeping that
No,
open
please
for
just be-
interpretation.
Hey, man. Do you know, love is love.
Don't necessarily just do you,
Yeah.
do
Oh,
others as
hey.
well.
Don't knock it till you try it,
Yeah, just wrap it up before you try it.
please.
You don't want to. Sometimes
don't-
Vicks Vapor Rub doesn't fix everything.
You do not want to bring that back to the good old states of America.
Yeah, because God knows we don't know anything about disease.
Yeah.
And I'm not even talking about corona.
No, we're just everything in general.
Nice sheep fucking diseases that come here from fucking Europe. We can blame Europe for that. Isn't
Yep.
syphilis from fucking sheep?
No.
See,
It's funny.
this is why I ask you, because I know I'm probably wrong.
Some teacher once. Wait, I just gave this person up. Doesn't
Well,
matter.
you
I don't
didn't
work
give
with
them
this
up.
person.
You just said someone. No one knows who that is.
Okay, this person I used to work with.
Yeah.
Was saying, oh, if the white man, because when I teach, I'm very like progressive, very liberal, very
Yeah.
whatever. And they're like, oh, if the white man's so bad, then why come everybody's still benefiting from the white man's invention? Like, everybody uses electricity, everybody loves their AC. I'm like, okay, you can say it was created by a white man, but how do you not know it was a black man who created it and the white man took the glory? It's like, whoa, if the
No, you know what's funny though? Is I
Mhm.
think it was still invented by a white man. It's just another white man stole his idea, because I believe Nikola Tesla was the one who invented electricity and Thomas Edison stole it from him.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I believe Tesla was the one, but I don't know.
Who else stole what's his face? Einstein also stole some ideas from other
I think probably from Tesla as well, because I think
Yeah.
Tesla did have some. I mean, the shit he was working on was. He
Yeah.
was fucking crazy cool.
No, but she will always say like, well, it wasn't like a bad thing. The natives gave syphilis to the white man also, and I'm like, how the hell do you think that happened, huh? How do you think the white man got syphilis from the indigenous people, huh? Do you think it's just, oh, here, let me trade you some goats for some fucking syphilis? No, the white man probably raped the hell out of these women, and that was the little.
Well, yeah, but here's the thing, man. And that's not just me sticking up for white people. Native
There you go.
Americans rape the shit out of Native Americans.
That's true.
So there you go.
Yeah.
Everyone rapes everyone. But the other thing that we were mentioning before I said everyone rapes everyone, which should be a t-shirt or a bumper sticker.
Yeah.
God, I'm just so spacey today. I keep forgetting what I'm going to say.
Are we talking about the Candyman being a creep still?
No, I left that.
All right. But we're in agreement that man was a fucking creep.
No, definitely. I mean, but I thought I'm so glad you didn't mean Gene Wilder, because I love Gene Wilder.
No, I
was
love
like,
him in
he's
that
so
movie.
good.
Yeah.
Well, and in a lot of other movies too. You should look.
Yeah.
Him and Pryor did movies together that are really good.
All the time. Yeah. Blazing Saddles.
Blazing Saddles is a good one. Pryor was originally supposed to be the character in that movie, the sheriff. That was supposed to be Richard Pryor.
Mm-hmm.
But they didn't want to deal with him.
Yeah.
He's too honest with his comedy.
It's too raw. He was
way too
Dave
raw.
Chappelle.
Oh,
It's
dude.
like Dave Chappelle now.
He was crazier than Chappelle, though. People fucking hated how, I mean, in the 70s, it was all about clean comedy.
Yeah.
And it wasn't really about, there was a little bit of observational humor. I mean, it kind of started in the 50s and 60s with Lenny Bruce, but like 70s was still like, you had guys like Bill Cosby telling like defaming Richard Pryor for cussing in his act.
Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile, this guy's like putting Quaaludes in his Jello cubes. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's like, who the
Yeah.
fuck are you? Once again, that whole topic of do as I say, not as I do. It's
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
but it's like you're literally profiting off of saying dirty comedy is bad for our culture while you're raping women.
Yeah. And not just like you're purposely drugging up these women to rape her.
Like,
And yeah, you're gonna say Richard Pryor's fucking is an
yeah,
asshole
because he's talking about a story,
for saying he smokes a little crack.
or he lit himself
Yeah.
on fire once on accident.
Which
Dude, it's
is
like,
probably more real.
oh, it's
Yeah,
everything Pryor
which
said
is
was
probably
real.
more real than yeah.
Well, I
Or more
heard.
relatable to like the working man person or the working man or something.
Well, honesty always relates. Honesty always relates to us because it's real and it's not always flattering.
Mm-hmm.
So when you hear someone talk about something that isn't flattering, 90% of the time you're probably going to believe what they're saying. Because why
Mm-hmm.
would someone want to, I mean, unless that's your shtick, but I mean, like, most people aren't so self-deprecating. I mean, I am very, I think it's funny. I find joy in shitting on myself
Yeah.
as long as it's done in a creative way.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because sometimes people are like, oh, you don't have to say that. I'm like, dude, trust me. It's just how I am. I'm just messing around. I'm not upset about it, so you shouldn't
Yeah.
be. It's like if I'm talking shit about myself and I'm not upset, you shouldn't be upset.
Yeah.
So it's just like, listen, I got my issues, and I don't need you to tell me how to deal with them, okay? Also, I like saying K when I'm messing around, but today me and Steph got in like this little mini argument, and it wasn't like a bad argument at all. We both knew it was pointless, but we were just kind of fuming a little because we're just,
Yeah.
adults and we're in proximity. And, God, I did it again.
You went blank.
Dude, I've been Men in Blacked about 6 times in this episode.
Oh my god.
It's like, tss. You know what that means, though? It means I'm literally talking pretty much out of my ass at this point. So. Nah, not really. I'm just, it's the pot brain mixed with the fact that it's late.
Yeah. We're getting there.
Fuck, what was I going to say? It's so frustrating.
So you and Steph are having, I wouldn't say an argument, but this discussion.
Yeah, I don't remember what I was getting at. This sucks. This is such great such great material when it's based solely on audio and I'm just like, "Hey, here's a cool idea. Oh, wait, Danny. Why don't you tell me what I was thinking about?"
It's a test.
If I could sum up this part of this episode would be that. The synopsis would be, "Hey, Danny, what was I talking about?"
Well, let's see here. Let me rewind.
Let me look through my records here, like you're typing everything we're saying.
Yeah.
Ugh.
What a day.
Leave it to the white man to expect the brown man to clean up his mess for him.
Well, I mean, Latinos get it done. Apparently, that was like a saying.
Yeah, Latinos get it done a little too good.
God damn, we need to lazy it up there a little bit, please. For the love of God.
Maybe have less than 7 kids, huh?
Yeah.
No, well, the Irish are guilty of that as well, so don't worry.
I was trying to relate it back to, if Steph finishing the job in 2 days, can you just take 2 months, please?
Yeah.
Can you milk it for once?
Yeah, well, if Paris Hilton and Nicole Richie can milk it, so can I.
Oh, look at them. Look at that rich people. They do normal stuff. Look at them. They're so rich. They don't know how to do basic shit.
Yeah, it's like our milking. Are we talking about cows or prostates?
Hey,
Either way, get them in here.
They were good after that. I seen the video.
I mean, I'd let them milk my prostate because here's the thing. You don't need to be pretty for me to let you do that.
I feel like that's not 80%.
They're not attractive to me.
That's like 80% of like criteria for.
Well, yes, but there's nothing really sexual about a prostate.
No.
So that's why I'm saying that.
Yeah, that's true.
Now, if it was an HJ, Well, even then, an HJ's pretty harmless. I mean, shit. Let's be honest. I can close my eyes and it could be Quasimodo for all I care. But
Yeah, yeah.
well, as
You
long
don't
as he
care.
doesn't have like friggin' calluses from ringing the
Yeah,
bell all day
that's
long,
the other thing. Also,
fucking working
freaking
man quasi hand.
those hands were freaking crazy huge.
Well,
Though they
dude,
were
and
like
all his
three.
friends were gargoyles, so he for sure had some fucking rock hands, dude.
Yeah, he
I'd
did.
probably rip my freaking dick off. So,
Well, don't forget the KY.
well, dude, but even then, it's like you rub oil on a rock, it's still gonna cut you, you know?
That's true. Jesus Christ, that's true.
I don't. That's a nice picture.
Yeah,
Putting oil on the rock.
to make it nice and smooth. Give it a little smack.
I just wanted to end it on a high note, which was oiling up the rock.
Mm.
Yep. I'd do it for
Mm.
free.
Are we talking about Wayne Johnson?
No, Wayne
The
Newton.
Rock?
No, yeah,
Wayne
Wayne
Newton.
Johnson. No,
Okay.
Dwayne. I was like,
Dwayne.
Wayne. That's why at first I was like thrown off. I was like, Wayne
Wayne.
Gretzky?
Who the fuck?
How many Waynes do I know? Wayne Brady.
Wayne Bruce or
Wayne Bruce, you naming him like you're in school?
Bruce Wayne? Jesus Christ!
Like it's roll. Wayne Bruce. I know your parents are dead, but are you here?
Mr. Wayne Bruce.
Yeah,
There you are.
Wayne Bruce. That's so
Speak up,
good.
goddammit.
I always feel bad for like the Asian kids that are in class, and then the teacher may or may not, because clearly not all the kids are hip to the culture.
Yeah.
And then it's funny when the teacher isn't, and then it's even funnier when they can't tell what's the first and the last name on the roll call sheet.
Oh God, dude.
Like,
No,
God, that's so bad.
You know what's the worst, dude? Nowadays, they throw in the middle name in there.
Yeah,
and
like,
then,
what do you need that for? What are you gonna yell at them?
Or
Who the
now,
fuck
like,
needs
there's
a
like
middle name?
some in my school, the two last names are making a comeback now. So it's no longer like the middle name is the maiden name. It's like
So it's
you have
like
2 or 3 last names nowadays.
now it's Montoya Cruz.
Yeah, and you're just like, God damn, like you're taking roll, and they want you to take roll like X amount of minutes before when class starts. And so that's like the first thing you got to do. So you're like, fuck. And then next thing you know is like, you see a name like that you never seen in your life. Like you'll see a name and you're like, who the fuck is this?
Yeah.
And then you're like, oh, right. That's the middle name. That's right. And like,
But can't they just put a middle initial?
what's the point? Well,
The only reason I say the middle initial is because there might be 2 John Smiths.
well,
I get it.
Yeah, there is. I have
Because you don't want to make John Smith A tardy when it was really John Smith B that was fucking tardy.
Yeah.
And then, that whole shit.
No, I get that. Also, the other thing is like attendance sheets are like legal documents.
Right.
So,
Well, because truancy is a big deal.
Yeah. And like, that's another thing that always sucks. Every fucking Monday, going in there and signing and
doing the truancy forms.
Yeah, like, oh, Mr. Bettencourt, don't forget to come and sign your attendance sheets. And you're supposed to review.
Narc.
You're supposed to review, like, oh yeah, freaking Cooper wasn't here on that Tuesday. Like I fucking remember.
I told you not to say anything.
Like I see it, I'm like, all right, yeah, I gotta check my attendance and make sure people who
Dude, here's the thing too. Like, if you're skipping out on a Zoom meeting, you deserve to get a fucking warning for shit, dude. Like, come on now. What the fuck? How easy is that?
Dude, you know what sucks though, dude? Like, it's so hard to keep on track to see who's in it and who's out because it's just like so much shit going on.
Well, and then like you said, you got to focus on your lesson plan while you're doing all of that.
Yeah, and it's just so hard. And then sometimes it's like I'll get text messages like, "Oh, how come so and so's not in your class right now?" I'm like, "What? They weren't like they were here when I took roll. Like once they leave, like that's not like."
You know what's annoying is like you're not physically there. So the other thing that's annoying to me when management does shit like that, because they do that in my work too, is like if you notice this, instead of doing this whole passive aggressive, let's dance around and make you admit what you screwed up on, even though I don't want to just come out and say what's bothering me, which I fucking hate too. But it's like, why don't you help fix it?
Yeah.
If you notice something's not right, why don't you help fix it?
Yeah.
I've noticed that so much. It's like, That's what a good manager does. Helps fix it, then tells you why he fixed it. So now you
Yeah.
understand to fix it and not do it that way next time.
Yeah.
Because it's
Or
showing you
work on
one,
it. Yeah.
right? It's showing you one, there's a mistake, but two, it's fixable, and three, here's how to fix it.
Mm-hmm.
Nowadays, it's like, oh, you made a mistake, you need to fix it. There's no led by example. There's none of that anymore, dude. This is the society we live in. It's very selfish, and everyone's out for themselves.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy. I don't understand it, but I think we just got to be smart, and we got heads on our shoulders, and we know better than to listen to all this noise. Sometimes that's all it really is. But I'm gonna take this omen of me yawning and whatnot as us to probably wrap it up. And this is gonna be out on. God, I want to say Monday is the 30th.
Yeah, so almost December. Wow, I can't believe.
Technically, Monday is the 30th, so this will be the last November podcast.
Mm-hmm.
We'll call this goodbye November. We won't call it that. But yeah, this is the last podcast for November, man. We've cleared 4 months.
Yeah, because we started this.
No, we started in early August.
Yeah, started in August.
So, dude, 8 to 12. Damn, dude, 4 months.
Yeah.
Nice. August 2nd was when our first episode was published.
Nice.
And I think we recorded it late July. So
yeah,
technically it will be 4 months. This is our 4-month anniversary here, man.
Yeah, hey, we're rocking it, man.
Dude, 4 months went by quick.
Yeah, hell yeah, dude. This past July has just been like this month went by super fucking quick.
November was insane. December's gonna be even crazier, I think.
It's insane, dude.
Go by real fast. And then we're gonna be in 2021, guys. Yay! Woo! COVID 21.
High expectations for 2021.
How about not at all?
Yeah.
My expectations are the opposite of my mental state. Yeah, which is not high.
Mm.
Because the opposite, my mental state is
high.
Remember that part of System of a Down? Was it Aerials? So up high.
They're so up high.
Yeah, that part always was awesome. And it always creeped me out a little bit in a cool way. It's like, I don't think you should be whispering to me right now. I'm only 14, but I kind of like it.
It's funny. It's funny that we were like 14, 15 listening to they're trying to build a prison. They're trying to build a prison.
The prison song.
Yeah, and we're just like, yeah.
You and me at 11.
They are trying to build a prison.
Yeah, and it's called high school, even though we didn't know shit about oppression.
I buy my smack my bitch right here in Hollywood.
More than 6,000 Americans are, no, I don't know. He doesn't know like a statistic, right?
Yeah.
That was a weird song. I kind of liked it. They had elements I liked. The Toxicity record is by far their best record of all time.
Absolutely.
I didn't really care for Steal This album.
Bum, 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 bum. They're trying to build a prison.
Prison song was on Steal This album, right? Or was that on Toxicity?
Prison song was on Toxicity.
It was on Toxicity. That's right.
Ariel's was on Steal This album.
No, Ariel's was also on Toxicity.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, Steal This album.
You're right.
Steal This album had Mr. Jack.
Yeah.
And that's the only song I remember from that record.
They had that weird pizza song, the "What's been the pie? Pizza pie."
Oh, I think I remember that. That was a weird record. And then it was such a lazy fucking album cover.
Yeah. Well, I thought it was an actual album record, or was it like a B-side?
That's a good question, because I don't know if it's actually ever been answered, but I think it was an actual record.
I mean,
but it came out and looked like a burned Memorex CD.
Yeah, that was and then I'm going to steal this record for $17.99.
Exactly. That's cool.
Tower record,
fucking premium.
Let me see what kind of what tracks were in that record, because
I remember that Mr. Jack or whatever it's called.
Intervention, Bubbles, Boom. That was like their a big song. Boom was like against the war in Iraq.
Oh, okay.
And then I remember that IEAO song,
Oh yeah.
the song right after Mr. J.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay, that
let me
song's
blow
kind of
up the
catchy.
sky. Yeah. Pictures.
Oh,
Oh, fuck
BY
this.
was BY. Oh no, that's on Mesmerize. BYOB or whatever.
Yeah, bring your own beer or bring your own bombs. Yeah.
Yeah.
But they have a song called Fuck the System, and that song was freaking great.
Yeah.
Just goes, war, fuck the system, war, fuck the system,
See,
fuck the system.
and that's I think I like political stuff, but when it's more like in the music,
Yeah.
and sometimes they get so political that I'm just like, yeah, I'm not into it. Because even Rage gets like that for me. Sometimes I
Yeah.
like it if it's funky and it's cool, and I mean, I could just kill a man when they're covering Cypress Hill and
Yeah.
Bulls on Parade and Guerrilla Radio, and I mean, all that shit's classic. But sometimes I'm like, yeah, I don't always want to listen to Zach De La Rocha's fucking political manifesto all the time.
They have the song that goes, and I feel so badass listening to the song. It goes, yeah, but now I'm walking down Rodeo with a shotgun. These white people haven't seen a brown man since their grandparents bought one. That's
Oh
the whole
yeah,
and it's just like I'm listening to like, yeah, these white people haven't seen a brown man like me since their grandparents were slaveholders. And I'm like, when you're 14, 13, you're like, yeah, I'm so fucking badass, so edgy. And I'm just like, really, Zach? Are we
dude.
really that? Do we
Well,
really have to
back
listen to it right
then
now?
things were edgier, and
Yeah,
because a lot of our
fairly so.
society was still pro, like a lot of our stuff was like a lot of white people.
Yeah, it was pro.
There wasn't a lot of diversity.
Yeah, there it was
And
anti.
now I'm just gonna say it. It should be equal everywhere, but I feel like we've gotten so pro diversity that we're almost going backward, and we're just shifting our hatred towards other people instead of
Yeah.
removing it completely. I know it's gonna sound weird in a way, and I know a lot of people are gonna be like, "Who cares?" But I really feel like this socially, we're kind of shifting to a point where we're like slowly starting to like society has built white people up for so long, and it's been like this whole thing where we say, oh, white people always got it easy. But now I feel like in some ways socially, white people have become this like negative thing,
hmm
you know?
No, and that's definitely an episode for another day
Yeah, for
about
sure. In
the.
fact, I need to write this down.
um that's definitely an episode for another day about like I feel like a lot of people are trying to they come from a very closed-minded family or something, grandparents or something, and that they feel like they have to overdo it and like pretend like how progressive their thinking is and how liberal they are. And I'm like, yeah, I get it, but as a person of color, like my experiences and it wasn't always facing racism everywhere I fucking went.
Yeah, exactly. But I think that's
Like
also because we grew up in Cali.
that's also another thing. Like, yeah, we grew up here in the Bay Area where like it's very diverse. Not saying that there's no racism here, but
Yeah.
or people or racist people, but like I don't think I ever went to like somewhere and they were like, "What are you doing in the wrong side of the track, boy?" You
See, and
know?
and I know that exists, but that's kind of the point I'm making, dude, is like I feel like once again our media puts out this fucking thing that they want us to view things. And it's like even when those riots were happening, you remember that shit.
Yeah.
They were making it seem like they're making it seem like the black people that were in the riots or just black people in general were the ones busting shit up. And the fucked up part was is all the videos I saw, they were white people or at least non-black people because they could be Asian or Middle Eastern, but they were
hmm
very light complexion people that were wearing masks and obviously trying to cover their identity, doing all this vandalism.
Yeah.
And it's like, what is the point of that? Well, the point
Yeah.
of that is it's like not only once again is the media implying that it's black people again, but then visually they're showing only white people doing things, and it's like it just feels like I'm not saying white people are becoming oppressed, but what I'm saying is I feel like people are being skewed into this. Let's have black people fight white people more again. Because
Yeah.
I already feel like there's enough crazy white people and crazy black people out there to keep this going.
Mm-hmm.
But I also feel like there's a lot of dumb, um, just easily influenced folks that are just going to watch the news and be like, yeah, white people are evil. It's like, you know what? They are. But
Yeah.
have your own examples for that. Don't just listen to everyone else's reasons.
Yeah.
Hate
No, and
people
it's
for your
just like,
reasons.
and it's just like you said, like that 17-year-old kid who decided, who took upon himself to go protect, this community with with the automatic weapon, and like he killed two people or something, and
Oh,
like
yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah, back a while
this
ago.
17-year-old kid or something. He was just in the news because his bail was set at like $3 million, and somebody actually they raised money to do his bail, and I'm like, that's fucked up, but whatever.
Wait,
Um, I mean, I'm not
wh-
saying
what's fucked
they're.
up? That he got
I mean,
bail?
yeah, and
I
I
mean,
mean,
dude, here's the thing here's something food for thought. One, there's a thing called bail bonds. Two,
mhm.
um, wait, he actually murdered someone and then it was like 3 million.
Yeah. So
So was
with
it
him,
actually cold-blooded murder or was it like that whole like I claim self-defense, these guys were doing
yeah,
something?
he's claiming self-defense.
But like how probable is it that it's self-defense or he's just lying?
I mean, the kid first off, he's a 17-year-old kid breaking curfew, in the midst of the riots and the protests. He went out there and with a fully automatic weapon to defend, whatever. Or so it wasn't. It might have been sure for self-defense, but what the hell is a 17-year-old kid doing out there past curfew at 1 o'clock in the morning
Yeah, I
with
mean,
a freaking open automatic weapon on the street?
like I don't know much I didn't read this article, so I don't know what type of gun it was.
Yeah, I think it was like
But
an yeah,
well, I don't know what fully automatic means. That's kind
yeah.
of a term that's made up by the TV.
Mhm.
I don't know what a fully automatic gun is. I know what a rifle is. I know what a semi-automatic is.
Yeah.
I know what you're saying. I'm just kind of being an asshole.
Yeah,
But I
yeah,
hate. I'm one of those, man. I know my guns a little bit. I say educate yourself a little bit, all right. But
yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
not saying you. I'm just saying in general, people.
Mhm.
People are so scared of things. They don't. Once again, education. Stop being scared. If you're scared of something, go look into what it is that
Yeah.
scares you. Because sometimes it's not even accurate. But anyway, yeah, I mean, the main concern with that is like, regardless of your political views or whether you think the kid was innocent or not, where are the fucking parents? Why
Yeah.
was he able to go out? How does he even legally have? Obviously, that's not his gun.
No.
So once again, that's the thing too that sucks is it's like the media is obviously going to turn this into, like, once again, this is a gun issue. It's like, no, once again, this is a parenting issue and
Yeah.
also a fucking issue with the fact that you want to punish law-abiding citizens for shit that citizens that aren't law-abiding are doing.
Mhm.
That's not right.
Yeah.
It's not fair. That's stupid. That's not going to fix what we're doing. All that's going to do is allow you to control us more. It's not going to make us safer. It's an
Yeah.
absolute fucking complete lie that if we get rid of guns, we will be safer. It is completely and utterly the most retarded argument I've ever heard in my life.
Here's the thing: if you remove the guns, there's still stuff like
Knives,
knives.
projectiles
There's
like rocks.
Yeah, there's still
People get stoned in third world countries to death. Pretty
yeah,
sure those aren't illegal
be
objects.
there's still gonna be a manner. Now, do I feel like they need to be? And again, this is another episode
No,
if
for
we ever
sure.
get to that one. But like, no, I don't agree taking away guns. I
Yeah.
do, but I do agree that some have. There has to be some sort of reform with them. Because obviously something that's not
Well, dude,
a
here's the thing.
17
How
year
how
old
can you
kid.
reform illegal activity?
That's true. That's
That's
true.
my point. Is because I
Yeah.
understand what you're saying and I agree, but how can you reform something that's only going to affect law-abiding citizens. And
Yeah.
that's the fucked up part, is because no matter how strict you make these gun laws, dude, I swear to God, people are still
Yeah.
going to go out and steal guns, get guns off the black market, because that's the other thing. Guns are on the black market, and they will never go away,
Yeah.
even if they become legal to own. And I've heard crazy rumors that they're going to start charging you per gun, whether you're using it or not, like a fucking automobile, which is
Mm-hmm.
insane. But if you think all that's going to prevent crime with guns, and I know you're not saying that, but it's just that's what a lot of people think, and that it's just like
Yeah.
don't once you go down the road of we have our rights gone, and I know this is like this big deal out here that a lot of people in Cali think it's a joke that people think our rights are getting taken away. I don't think it's a joke, and I think it's real. And then the
Mm-hmm.
other thing that spooks me is once your rights get diminished, they're not going to build back up.
No.
So, food for thought is once you have regulations and all this stuff controlling you more, it's not going to ever become less controlling.
Yeah.
So, that's my fear. We already talk so much crap about how our system doesn't work, and it's like the last thing I want to do is have our system be regulating that.
Yeah.
I don't know. Name one good thing the government regulates.
No, and I mean
I can't
the
think of anything.
and like you just brought up a good point. Like once rights are taken away, it's not like they're just taken away temporarily. They're just you never fully get them back. Like I was thinking, like post 9/11 in our lifetime. Post 9/11
Oh
with
yeah,
the
airports are never going to be the
NSA
same.
and Homeland Security and stuff. Like those laws are still there. Like they're
Oh,
still tapping into our
they're not going to go away.
they're still tapping into our phones.
Well,
We still go to the airport and we still have to take our fucking
dude, and
shoes
TSA
and
is a fucking fraud, dude. Those people
yeah.
ain't stopping shit. You know that. You know, only
No.
point of that is to fucking just waste time.
Yeah. No,
It's basically to
it's
control the flow of the fuck. I don't know what it is. It's some
it's a
stupid
huge
social experiment.
it's a huge waste of time. Now, would I agree with them saying, what, past this point, if you don't have a boarding pass, you're not allowed to go past this point? Yeah, I think
Oh,
that's
I
fine.
think that's completely fair because then you don't have all these assholes in the airport that don't belong there. And you
Yeah,
know
like
what? If you're gonna blow up the airport, at least buy a ticket. Okay,
yeah,
that's all we're
yeah.
saying. That's all we're
Support the
saying.
economy, please. Support the economy. Support the economy, you asshole. But
Yeah.
no, it's just like I just
No, I know, and you're
yeah.
right. We're kind of going on this like crazy, fun little tangent that we're basically like. I literally wrote down notes of like 4 episode ideas that we can go with, but that's good, man. We needed to hash this out. We had some stuff on our chest.
Yup.
We overall seemed like we kind of had a busy week, but it's a holiday week, man. So it's always kind of nuts. We'll get through it, and I'm actually looking forward to the holiday, but I'm also looking forward to a few weeks with no holiday
Yeah.
because we're gonna need those weeks to prep for the next one anyway. But
Oh God.
yeah, I know,
And
right? So
uh
let's enjoy this week. Finish off November. Enjoy the freedom. That's what that's what I'm looking forward to is
yeah.
enjoying this pre-Christmas stuff. And then once Tuesday hits our heads next week on the 1st, it's Christmas time.
Oh, now we gotta start looking for presents and all this shit.
It's
Oh,
like happy holidays. Well, the merry bells keep ringing.
God.
Danny's grading papers all night.
I'll be like, God damn it!
Like, you're all
Grades are due in 2
failed.
hours.
You're all going back. You're repeating, but not with me.
Fuck you all, kids.
I don't want to see
No,
you
I'm
any.
actually gonna be. I'm lucky enough where I already have it planned out for the next 3 weeks. Where like one class is gonna be watching. They're basically gonna watch a video for 1 week since it's only like a couple of hours, a couple of minutes.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be like, all right, we're gonna watch a video about womanhood this week. All right, do your assignment here, and then 1 week of manhood, and then after I was like, all right, well, based on that, here's your final, get it done. You're gonna have 1 week to finish up your final, and then
Yeah.
that was, and then that was that. Then that's that.
And that's dead.
Um, then we call it a day.
Yeah. Well, I mean, That's, and it'll go by quick. Next month's going to be even crazier. Plus, I think you only work like, what, 2.5 weeks next month? Or you work full 3 weeks probably, right? You get a week
No, it's
off?
gonna be like two. It's like 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks.
Yeah, so that's not bad. It'll go by quick, and I'm sure you'll have a lot of grading to do. But,
Oh, always. That's
but uh, yeah, and I got an idea for next week too, so it'll be fun. Yeah, dude, I think this was a good ep, and we'll see everyone next week when they're a little hairier, a little grayer, and a little sad. No, let's not say sad. Be happy.
a little bit
Hopefully,
wider because we
wise
still got.
and wiser,
Oh yeah.
but with an E because it's beer time.
Wait, before I let you go, Coop, let me ask you a question because
Shoot,
I've been thinking about this all day. I went to Costco yesterday,
yeah,
and we bought ourselves the pumpkin cheesecake, which I love
okay,
cheesecake and I love pumpkin pie.
right.
Obviously, it's for tomorrow's dinner. Would it
Oh,
be wrong of me to open it up for breakfast and have like a little slice of pie
Danny,
with coffee in the morning?
I love you so much because I have a pumpkin pie that I'm going to dig into tonight.
Damn it! See, that's I was thinking about that right now. Like
Here, I don't know what the ethical answer is because I don't care. If you want to eat some of that and it's delicious and it'll make you happy, just cut a nice piece out. Because then at
you know what?
least you can be like, I just, I wanted to just give it a shot. And like, but see, if you mangle it, there's only two
Yeah,
ways you can do about it. You can either go neat slice or just devour the whole thing and just destroy the evidence. There's only two ways to go about this. You can't leave it mangled like a Jason Biggs pie, but you gotta at least try some of that, dude. I mean, it's pumpkin cheesecake. I explore zero self control on holidays, let alone weekends. So I say
yeah.
just go for it, dude.
No,
Or you know what you
I'm
could
almost.
do? You could eat half of it and then just say it was a half.
Yeah,
They do half pies, dude.
they do. They do.
You got to
I
sell it
mean,
though. You got to cut it nice.
here's the thing. Realistically, even if I dig into it right now, it's still gonna be more than enough for tomorrow after dinner.
It's not. No one's gonna say anything,
No
and
one's gonna
because
say
and
anything.
you know what? If anyone asks you, be like, "Oh, we already served the slice." They don't know when. Who cares?
And you know what? Even if I
It's none of their
destroy the
business.
whole pie, which is not gonna happen, I can just go and run and get another one tomorrow.
Hey,
That's the beauty of capitalism.
and yeah, and exactly. You didn't do anything that the pilgrims didn't already do. So
Yeah,
there
that's
you go.
true. That's true.
With your little
But I'm
fucking
glad we're on
buckle
the same page
shoes.
with that.
Of course we are. Look at us. We're healthy Americans.
Woo!
We know how to indulge.
Absolutely. That's all we know how to do.
That's
That's
that's that's a big thing that we know how to do.
that's our God-given right as an American. God
It's my
damn it!
God-given right to be white as I want. Not
Woo!
white as I want, but wide as I want.
The if God didn't intend us to be these fat, why did He make size 44 pants?
So I can have a tablecloth when you're done wearing them. You fat bastard.
And then people have the audacity to freaking donate those pants. Like, yeah,
Fucking,
motherfucker.
yeah, what are
Yeah,
they donating them to? A fucking paratrooping school? What are they?
the demand for size 48 G's are so high.
What are they gonna do? Like repurpose it as a flag of the White House, dude? I'm such an asshole.
Recycle them as fucking actual sandwiches.
To any listeners that are wearing size 45, do the right thing and try and squeeze into a 44.
Please keep it even, please.
Suck it in a little.
Go for a walk every now and then. Where's that? Just buy the sweatpants already.
Yeah, you know when you want to order Grubhub? Why don't you just go walk to the fridge and make a sandwich?
Yeah. At least walk it a little bit.
Or
Oh, God.
yeah, instead of pushing that forward button on your rascal scooter.
Yeah.
Remember, you got to clean that feeding tube every once in a while.
If God wanted me to walk, He wouldn't buy me the scooter.
Oh yeah,
Everybody knows that.
yeah, but I feel like that guy would have screamed it. If God didn't want me to walk, He won't buy me the goddamn scooter.
That's like, oh, I'm sorry.
Now
I didn't
give me
know
my
it was
goddamn
fault.
bananas and put it in the bag. God damn it.
I didn't know it was my fault that you weigh 450
Yeah,
pounds.
dude.
And we,
Oh,
you know.
dude, when you see these my 600-pound life people, I'm just like, look, you can't even hate on Tiger King. Like,
No.
these people exist, and they're not in a fucking compound in the middle of the United States. Why not? I'd pay $20 to see a guy eat a waffle cone.
Yeah. I would pay. Why
So
are you so angry at
it's
Tiger
fat
King?
shaming.
Did he do anything wrong?
Who?
Tiger King.
Well, ethically, yes. I don't know if I think criminally he did in a way too, because he had some like criminal negligence, but for the most part, all the crime and fraud was mostly by that Carol Baskins woman,
Man, that damn.
who straight up got away with pretty much murdering someone.
Her husband,
Yeah.
allegedly.
Well, I think a cat ate him, right? Did they find him? Or did he go?
No, he's still MIA.
Exactly. I think a cat ate him.
Yeah, and she even said, like, if you're going to kill somebody, she will cover him in sardine oil.
Exactly. She literally told you how she did it. She's all, no, it wasn't sardine. It was like trout oil. That's probably the only difference in the fucking realism of it.
Yeah, and then she goes, of course not. If I want to murder somebody, I'll do it this way. Like that OJ, what if I did it?
Exactly.
God damn it.
Yeah, and see, the difference between OJ is the white people, they ain't backing up Carol Baskins. All right? There ain't no race war here. We know that bitch is guilty.
Yeah. No. And us color folks, we know that bitch did it too. We know it.
Yeah, but that's not hard to admit when she's white.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, I'll admit it too. She's a crazy bitch. I could care less what color she is.
Carol Baskin. God.
It's always got to be old white women, though. It's like, I don't know. But they're really that freaky, because even in my work, I got some customers and I'm just like, this, I don't know. Maybe this shouldn't be legal. I'm sick of dealing with you people. I tell my boss on the daily, I'm like, I hate people. I can't deal with them. Yeah. And he's like tried to get me off phones because he wants me to like manage the team more. Mm-hmm. I thrive more doing that. I hate retail. I don't like dealing with customers. Yeah. Today I had a lady that wanted to fucking complain. She's like, oh my God. It was like 10 minutes after we opened, and then it was like the whole process was taking like 5 minutes because I need to ask her questions. Like, like, what's your address? What's your phone number? Shit like that.
What do you need that?
Right.
What?
And then she's like, well, God, this is taking so long. I just hope my stuff's still available. And I'm like, one, not only is that super bitchy, but yeah. So then I told her like this. I said, well, ma'am, if we run out of your stuff in the first 10 minutes we're open, we got bigger problems. Yeah. And then I was like, we'll see you in 15. Like, I'm so fake to some people that I hate, dude.
Oh, dude, you have to, though.
I told this one guy, I was like, I hella don't like this dude, but he didn't know it was me over the phone. Mm-hmm. He's all, man, that ETA is pretty long. Like, I don't mean to be disrespectful or nothing, but the ETA is a little long. So then I over the phone, I was like, because I've gotten in altercations with this guy in person. Yeah. And I was like, man, I'm doing my absolute best here, but unfortunately, there's just no one else in the area. And there really wasn't. But I was so happy that I was inconveniencing him. Yeah.
No, it's just like, dude, you're being inconvenient. So you're mad because you're being inconvenienced, yet you don't want to just drive down to the store.
Exactly. This is the same guy that when I got in an altercation with him is because he didn't want to pay the $3 while he was going through his hundreds and 20s. He's God. It's just $3, man. You're really going to make me break a 20? I said, yeah, I am. As I have the change, and that's what it costs.
Yeah, I'm like,
and then he got mad at me. He literally told my boss that I was being disrespectful.
Because he charged him $3.
He said I was being disrespectful because I said, I'm like, oh, yeah. I said, you can either give me the money or I could just drive off. Like, I'll just go. Because here's the thing. Yeah. I'm not going to pay the money for it. I hope you don't expect me to pay for your stuff. Because I'm not going to pay for your stuff. And then he got mad at me because I was talking to him like that. And then I said, look, listen, dude. At the end of the day, right now, I get paid to drive here, and I get paid to drop this off and collect money from you. That's all I do. I don't need to sit here and argue. I don't need to say anything to you. If you can give me the money that this costs for, I can give you the goods. If not, I can just move on.
Yeah.
That's all it is. So then he ended up giving me the 20 finally, and it made change. But he literally called my work, complained like I did something wrong. Like I knew I wasn't going to get in trouble, you know?
Yeah.
And it wasn't about me being scared, because I wasn't. I wasn't scared then, and I wasn't scared of my boss calling me. But what bothered me was this motherfucker acted that way and then still thought he could call in and get something out of me.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's how we are right now as a society. It's if we can't have it, we're gonna get it, and the only way we can get it is by making a scene and crying and screaming. Then that's what we'll do, and
Like
that's
little
what
kids.
it's become. It's sad.
Yeah. Like
So
little kids, man.
yep. And on that note, we're gonna leave you guys. But the main takeaway from this, guys, is there's omens, there's signs. Pick up on them. You know, hunches. Follow them. You know, if you got an old friend that you say, "Oh, I haven't talked to them in a while," reach out to them. There's a reason sometimes the universe drops these clues, and we don't always know why, but it ends up usually being a reason that we're really thankful that we ended up doing the one thing we were questioning the whole time. So that's the main takeaway from this, and I hope you guys can apply that to your life moving forward. I know I will try as well, and we got to get through this holiday, and we will see you guys next week.
Oh yeah.
With some more stories and possibly some more friendly banter between me and Danny.
Because that's all
That's really all we know.
that's all we know how to do.
Big dick energy, folks. That's all we know. That's all we fucking know. I say that because I can't stand by the physical proof, but I can say energy-wise, it's a big dick.
Yes. And that cannot be measured.
There's no rulers.
We got that one beat. Oh God.
You can't get in trouble for pulling out your figurative cock. See? There you go. And that's what we leave you with. All right, guys. Have a good weekend.